A voice called out, grabbing their attention. It looks like everyone is here. The Grand Academy exam begins in 3 days. VSAT made the announcement. These 20 students will represent Phong Academy in the upcoming battle. I have only one request for you. Defend our title as the #1 academy in the entire Thien Thuc district. He stood there, explaining the rules. The admission list for the district was finally being released. There are 50 spots available. As usual, the top 10 finishers in the exam are guaranteed a place. The remaining 40 slots are distributed by rank. Then VSAT said something that sent a shockwave through the crowd. First place will receive 15 admission slots. The room erupted into frantic whispering. That is a massive amount. I heard second place only gets 6. This is getting completely out of hand. An elder from Phong Academy standing beside him spoke up with instructions. Than Yi, keeping our reputation alive depends on you taking first place. She bowed obediently. I will do everything in my power to win. VSAT's face changed. He became stern when he mentioned the name Su Kong. You must watch out for Su Kong from Dong Uyen Academy. He is incredibly strong and your biggest threat. Than Yi grew tense, matching the principal's serious tone. Yes, sir. He continued to give them orders. Starting tomorrow, you won't come to school. You'll move into Baklin Uyen, where teams from across the district are gathering. In 3 days, you'll enter Baklin Mountain. That is where the grand exam will officially take place. VSAT spoke with immense pride. I have led this academy for years. To me, its glory is worth more than life. He bowed slightly to them. I am asking all of you to give your best. Maintain the legacy for me. Phap Tin and Ungu Lang were the first to shout back firmly. Yes, sir. Baklin Uyen was already buzzing with people. The next day, Li Luo's team arrived under the guide's direction. Locals lined the streets to watch the spectacle. They couldn't stop gossiping about Phong Academy. Are these really Phong's top 20? Is that girl with the long hair Than Yi? I heard she is the best they have. High up in a tower, 3 figures huddled together by a window. This red-haired teen is Hang Luong, the strongest from Shenxi Academy. Hang Luong shaded his eyes from the sun, squinting. So that's Than Yi? She looks like a formidable opponent. The cold purple-haired youth is Tong Ban, the top student at Zhongyang Academy. He sized her up. I feel a dangerous aura coming from her. Cheetah, the best from Shi Guang, looked on with caution. Phong's best has never been an easy target. We're lucky we aren't in the same class as Thunga, or we might as well just give up. The 3 of them watched from the window as they talked. Did you all get the message from Su Kong? He wants to meet tonight. He's planning to team up so we can finally crush Phong Academy. They have held the top spot for far too long. Under the morning sun, the busy city looked like a fairy tale. The door swung open. 2 figures entered the room, one after the other. Zhao Kuo was impressed with the room. Suddenly, someone leaned against the doorframe with a reckless, carefree look. Yu Lang makes a grand entrance, his cloak bursting with books. He grins. Want to buy some goods? Li Luo's lip twitches. Yu Lang, when did you start selling this shady stuff? Zhao Kuo looks embarrassed, but he definitely gives off major shady merchant vibes right now. Yu Lang smirks with pride. You don't get it. This is my exclusive first-hand intel. My predictions for the top 10 warriors before the big exam. Li Luo flips through a page, unimpressed. Suddenly, his eyes land on something that is hard to describe. Li Luo from Southwind Academy. A former washout-turned rising star with 5-grade water resonance. He is incredibly handsome, but sadly, looks do not grant extra points on the final exam. His odds of hitting the top 10 are slim. Sensing danger, Yu Lang bolts, shouting an excuse about protecting his sources over his shoulder. I am just protecting the secrets of the academy. Li Luo does not chase him. He actually sits down to study. He gives the book a fair review. It seems Yu Lang really put in the work instead of just lying. Looking at the data in the book, he starts to organize his own thoughts. Rank 1, Qing E9 Seal Stage Ice Resonance. Rank 2 from East Abyss Academy, Shi Kong. 7-grade Thunder Resonance, 9 seals. High chance of taking the top spot. Rank 3, Divine Light Academy's Hang Liang. Lower 7-grade Fire Resonance at the 8 seal level. Rank 4, Yun Feng from Southwind. 7-grade Red Vulture Resonance, 8 seals. Li Luo shivers. He yawns and stretches. Cracking the top 10 is going to be a nightmare. After all, I am not a monster like Qing Yi. She uses her 9-grade light resonance to crush everyone. Most do not even have the courage to fight her. Li Luo sighs in his chair. He is so hungry. Zhao Kuo promised to bring food, which makes things worse. Where is he? Is he trying to starve me? Maybe he wants me dead so he can have this dorm all to himself? Just then, Yu Lang runs back screaming. Something happened! Li Luo, your friend Zhao Kuo is being blocked in the street. Li Luo asks for clarification. Yu Lang explains there is a conflict with students from Central Sun Academy. Their leader is a guy named Zong Bin. You saw him in my exam guide. You should know who he is by now. Li Luo is confused. Central Sun Academy? What do those guys want with us anyway? Yulang guesses anxiously. Zongbin is involved. If I said this was just about Zhao Kuo, you would not believe me. They are testing you. Li Luo cannot sit still anymore. Coming for me, are they? Bullying my brother? I do not care who he is. I will not stand for it. Outside, a massive crowd has gathered. People are whispering and pointing as the tension starts to build. What is going on? I heard a Southwind student was harassing a younger girl from Central Sunday. How bold is that? It is obvious to everyone that a group of bullies has trapped Zhao Kuo in the middle. He looks nervous and pale given the situation. Suddenly, a heavy hand lands on his shoulder. Zhao Kuo turns around, on high alert. Zongbin smiles. Brother, this is not over yet, not by a long shot. Call someone out from Southwind who can actually talk so we can settle this. Zhao Kuo asks if they are framing him. Zongbin winks. If Southwind has no one to step up, we might have to handle you. We need justice for our little sister. Zhao Kuo barks back. Bull crap. That girl is built like a tank. You think I would flirt with her? Someone pushes through the crowd. Excuse me, coming through. Spotting his target, Zongbin grins. He knew they would come. Li Luo points at the purple-haired boy. Proctor! This student is breaking the rules by starting a fight. Arrest him and ban him from the big exam immediately. Zongbin never expected Li Luo to call the cops. He is absolutely terrified by the sudden move. He desperately tries to explain. Proctor, we are not fighting. It was just a joke. Zhao Kuo yells for justice. He was totally about to hit me. The proctor looks at the muscular girl and scoffs at the group. If you want to frame someone, pick a better victim. Stand here for 3 hours. 1 minute less and I call your dean. Li Luo looks Zongbin in the eye. Are you really that curious about me? Zongbin replies, others say you are nothing, but I think you are the biggest wild card in this exam. You are hiding something big. Li Luo walks away calmly. Wait for the exam, he laughs. Then you will finally find out. Zongbin's mind races as he groans. Damn it, I am stuck standing here. How can I make it to Shikong's party now? He is going to think I am snubbing him. That night at the gathering, Hang Liang speaks up. Where is Zongbin? Is he really going to disrespect us like this? Someone whispers a secret report in Shikong's ear. He laughs it off and says, looks like Zongbin won't be showing up tonight after all. He tried to spy on Li Luo, but got reported to the proctor. Now he is stuck standing for 3 hours as punishment. Even if Zongbin is out, we cannot let our meeting today be delayed. We have much more important things to focus on. We share the same goal, dragging Phong Academy off its throne as the #1 school in Tianshu. His eyes suddenly flashed with intense energy. He continued sinisterly. Besides, as long as we deal with Qinger, Phong will lose their shot at being #1 entirely. When the time comes, just show up at the exact location and moment that I have already arranged for you all. I am certain our partnership will be a successful one. For the next 2 days, no one else came to cause trouble for Li Luo. Whenever he went outside, the people around him watched with strange, curious looks. But did Li Luo really care? Clearly, the answer was no. Zhao Kuo and Li Luo arrived at the Fengshan Pavilion inside the White Spirit Garden. Li Luo spoke up first. It is way too crowded here. Let's find somewhere else to eat. Suddenly, he spotted someone upstairs. Wait, is that Lu Qinger? Seeing her was like finding a delicious meal. He said excitedly, let's go. Time to score ourselves a free lunch today. The restaurant was packed with people. Qinger waved. If you don't mind, sit here. There are still some empty spots available. Li Luo sat down naturally next to Qinger. Classmates should help each other out in times of need, right? Yunfeng immediately began to sneer. Li Luo, I heard you caused more trouble. Can you stop tarnishing the reputation of Phong Academy for once? You are making all of us, Nanfeng students, feel a bit ashamed to even know you. He was burning with intense jealousy. This jerk Li Luo actually dared to boss Qinger around right in front of me? Li Luo laughed. If my actions make you feel that ashamed, then I suggest you just drop out immediately. Qinger quietly covered her mouth, stifling a laugh. Yunfeng shouted in embarrassment. Whether I stay in school or not is not for you to decide. A new guest walked in, and his powerful presence made the crowd part ways. It was Sikong from Dong Uyen Academy, son of Governor Si Jing. He stood directly in front of the table where Li Luo, Qinger, Zhao Kuo, and Yunfeng were eating. He gave a polite smile and asked, Mind if I join you? Qinger replied, Sorry, but we are all full. Li Luo acted like he didn't care and kept eating. Sikong didn't give up, trying a bit of moral manipulation instead. Qinger, our fathers are old acquaintances. There is really no need to be this cold toward me. She wiped her mouth and looked him in the eye. We are rivals. Why pretend to be so close? Doesn't all that acting get tiring? Sikong kept the smile on his face, but the tension around him grew heavy. We will be classmates at the St. Astral Academy soon anyway. No need for such distance. Yunfeng, don't you agree? Yunfeng could only offer a reluctant nod in response. Li Luo ignored Sikong's barking and turned to Qinger. Are you done eating yet? Want to go for a walk to digest? She agreed and nodded. Sure. Seeing them completely ignore him, Kong narrowed his eyes into a cold, sharp glare. Li Luo and Qinger stood up to leave. Suddenly, Kong grabbed some food scraps and flicked them with deadly force. Li Luo sensed it and turned his head, but another force suddenly knocked the projectile away before it could hit him. A flash of green energy successfully suppressed that surprise attack. The person who had stepped in to protect Li Luo was none other than Qinger. The crowd watched the scene unfold and started gossiping. It looked like Qinger and Kong were about to fight. Was the showdown between the two top contenders for the big exam really going to happen ahead of schedule right here? Qinger warned him. Kong, don't start trouble. He laughed. My hand slipped. Young lord, please don't be too angry with me. Li Luo shot back. I am not angry, but you are wasting perfectly good food. It seems your family manners aren't that great, are they? Doesn't the governor ever teach you anything? If your house is short on whips, I can certainly gift you a couple of them. Kong feigned an apology. The young lord is right. I will be more careful next time. Li Luo nodded with mock satisfaction. Admitting your mistakes is the first step to being a good boy. With that, he and Qinger walked away. Kong's face darkened as he wondered if Li Luo was hiding his power or truly talentless. He decided a useless young lord was no threat. He probably isn't a threat, but this guy is definitely starting to get on my nerves. I'll arrange something to ensure he is eliminated early. On exam day, massive crowds gathered as people from all over the prefecture arrived for the big competition. Luxurious buildings stood near the front, specially reserved for the high-ranking officials and important figures arriving from various locations today. Governor Jing of the Tianshu prefecture was present among the crowd. Old Principal Wei Sha also appeared, drawing a lot of attention. Jing greeted him warmly. Old Principal, you are looking as sharp as ever. Wei Sha smiled, but his words were sharp. I heard you're unhappy with Phong Academy remaining the #1 school in this prefecture. Jing kept his composure. His words held a subtle provocation. But then again, that was just a rumor. Top status in Tianshu is earned purely through strength. That fact is set in stone, unless another academy rises up to actually surpass our own power and skill level completely. Wei Sha stroked his beard. When our academy rose in Tianshu, Governor, I do not think anyone even knew where you were hiding back in those days. Jing's face darkened. He thought, this stubborn old man is a problem. He trashes my reviews every year, blocking my promotion. If this happens again, I will probably be transferred to some middle-of-nowhere outpost before the year ends. He just smiled. The principal is absolutely right. In a separate building, a pair of full, rosy lips appeared, looking incredibly seductive and bold. Tai Vai snacked on a banana and asked, do you think the young lord can actually reach the top 10 this time? Lin Khan slammed the table in a rage. You vixen, can you dial it down just a little bit? Tai Vai laughed, holding a grapefruit. Just us here, girl. Eat up and nourish yourself. You need the nutrients. Lin Kang screamed, Tai Vi, you think having curves makes you special? Seriously? Tai Vai waved it off. My bad, I am sorry, do not be shy. We are just talking here, right? They finally turned serious. Li Luo's resonance is only first grade. Lin Khan noted with a frown. The top 10 will be a struggle for him. Tai Vi disagreed. I think the young lord will actually make it quite easily. Intuition tells me he is hiding something big. The music swelled as the scene shifted to the arena. Lin Khan watched the hustle below. Looks like the academy teams are finally arriving at the gates. And Lai stepped up to the massive crowd. Students, I am Lai from Xuanjing. Today's high-stakes exam is a competition for points. Your performance here determines your entire future ranking in the school. The star plates in your hands will track your entire score throughout this exam. Li Luo studied his plate, and Li continued. When we begin, all of you will first enter 2 separate assessment gates. Passing these gates earns you your base points for the round. No fighting inside. After that, it is free game. You must steal plates from other schools to climb the ranks. There is an old city ahead. You will get the final rules once you arrive. And Li waved his hand and shouted, the exam officially begins now. Li Luo turned to Zhao Kuo. Let's get moving immediately. The principal's talk is over. Thanks for the help, Mr. Enlai. In power and rank, Enlai was below the big local names. But regardless, he was a supervisor sent directly from St. Xuanjing. Though he is a Silver Radiance guide now, he has massive potential to reach gold rank soon and become a major player in the kingdom. Once he is promoted, he will be a powerhouse in the kingdom. Guides have 3 ranks, silver, gold, and purple. Silver needs Earth Shard power, while gold requires Heaven Star strength. It takes a lot of training to reach the higher levels of the academy. And Lai spoke to the principals. Purple guides must be dukes. Even gold guides are rare, even at the capital academy. This year will be very intense for everyone involved. Tianshu is full of talent. This exam will be fierce. Gentlemen, let us wait and watch the show together. They looked at the wall. Light stones at White Spirit Mountain began to flicker to life, projecting the scene. Images of the students flashed up, with their scores and rankings updating live for every single person to see. Li Luo's team hiked through the thick woods until they reached a massive wooden gate standing tall. The doors slammed shut behind them. Li Luo scanned the room carefully. Is this the first stage or what? What is the test? Zhao Kuo whispered. Listen, I hear something up there. Holes in the ceiling opened. Vicious bats poured out. People screamed in terror. Look, it is those four-winged bats. Run for your lives. We have to dodge their attacks right now. If they hit us, it is over. Don't get hit or your score drops. Zhao Kuo panicked as they swarmed. Luo, I can't hold them off much longer. Li Luo watched them. He yelled, Follow me. Do not resist my power. Just trust me. Water reflection? Luo, that technique won't help. Those beasts are right on top of us already. Zhao Kuo closed his eyes, bracing for the worst. We are dead meat for sure. Nothing happened. He looked. The bats were ignoring them entirely, attacking others instead. He gasped in total shock and confusion. Is this even real? Your art is absolutely insane. It is like actual invisibility from the ancient legends themselves. I just used the light to hide us right within the glare, Li Luo explained quite calmly to him. I have never seen anyone master that technique so perfectly before now. Li Luo felt a surge of pride. Combining water and light was the only way to make their concealment this effective. Zhao Kuo told Li Luo they could just wait here for the results. Brother Luo, you are not just a pretty face, you actually have a brilliant brain too. The Saint Academy really dropped the ball by not recruiting you directly. They clearly have no vision at all. Li Luo replied that it was their future school after all, so they should not judge too harshly. Then Zhao Kuo froze. Brother Luo, that guy looks familiar. Up ahead, Yu Lang was sprinting for his life, gasping for air while screaming, Someone save me! Zhao Kuo was stunned. That guy is heading right for us. Does he know our hiding spot? Li Luo stayed calm. Just ignore him. Act like he is not there. Yu Lang refused to give up, bellowing like a desperate ox. Brother Luo, you have to save me, man! Li Luo stayed quiet, trying to ignore him. Getting no answer, Yu Lang yelled even louder. Save me now, or I will drag this whole swarm right to your spot. Furious and with no other choice, Li Luo reached out and hauled Yu Lang into their hiding spot. He did not hesitate to lay into the brainless idiot. Damn it, Yu Lang, you are so low that someone is going to beat you to death eventually. Yu Lang gloated after getting his way, while all around them, the other students fought desperately for their lives. But the sheer numbers were overwhelming. Students were getting hurt, and the star badges on their chests were constantly flashing a warning red light. Zhao Kuo said with a touch of pride. Brother Luo, I think we just delivered a perfect performance. Do you not agree? If we do not get the highest base score for this level, then there is truly no justice left in this world. If points were based on avoiding hits, nobody could touch them. But as they relaxed and watched the show, the bats suddenly turned around and headed back. The challenge was clearly over. Right then, a grid of light swept across the area, scanning every single person the light could find. Everyone started buzzing about their base scores. I got 44 points. I got 50. Man, I only got 20 points. Such bad luck. But Li Luo, Zhao Kuo, and Yu Lang were left in a daze. Looking down at their cards, all three showed a big fat 0. Zhao Kuo snapped in frustration. How is this possible? We dodged those four-winged bats perfectly. I am going to file a formal complaint. Yu Lang spoke up with his own theory. That light never actually hit us. Did the water mirror art block the scan too? Li Luo rested his chin on his hand, looking totally disappointed. Whatever, 0 points is fine. Those base points are for others to fight over anyway. Besides, we still have the evaluation at the next level to worry about. Let us head to the next stage. As they walked away, the others mocked them. What is wrong with those three? Did they come here just to be a joke? At the foot of White Spirit Mountain, Qing and the others naturally secured the highest scores. But those 3 zeros at the very bottom of the board were also hard to miss. Kai Wei asked in disbelief. That 0 could not be our young palace master, right? Ling Qing replied firmly. Who else could it possibly be? What is he even doing? Kai Wei sighed deeply. This young master really knows how to make people worry. Shi Jing took the chance to mock them. Old Dean, your students from Southwind Academy are certainly unique, are they not? Wei Sha ignored him, frowning as he thought. What are those three up to? Do they really think I am too old to swing a blade? After exiting the main hall doors, the three of them entered a deep, gloomy forest. The towering trees completely blocked the sky, creating an eerie, oppressive atmosphere. As they walked, Li Luo noticed what looked like a stone tablet nearby. He examined it for a moment, thinking it had clearly been placed there quite recently. He told the group this level involved gathering ghost face fruits from the devil vine tree. It is incredibly vicious and kills anything that gets too close. For this second assessment, you must obtain a ghost face fruit to earn any base points. Looking at that sinister demonic tree, Li Luo sighed. That thing is not going to be easy to handle. If you try to take it on alone, even an 8-seal tier fighter would struggle to get a fruit from it. The group came to a halt in front of that eerie stone tablet. Yu Lang spoke first. Let us team up for the fruit. Li Luo teased him. I thought you were looking to go solo just now? Oh, come on. Yu Lang quickly tried to play it off. No way. We have been through life and death situations together, right? The three of them walked together deeper into the forest, continuing like that for over 10 minutes. Li Luo suddenly grew alert. Hearing movement, they crept behind some grass. In the middle of a swamp stood a massive black tree, looking quite ominous. A fierce, terrifying face was faintly visible right there on the tree trunk. Black vines were writhing around it like a nest of dark snakes. This was it, the infamous ghost-faced devil vine tree. 6 or 7 students were already teaming up against it, but they were getting whipped so hard they were screaming in pain. Zhao Kuo watched, noting how brutal it was. Those 6 seal fighters are being totally crushed. Li Luo suggested, Yu Lang, why do you not go first? Yu Lang grumbled, asking why it had to be him. Li Luo looked at him. You are a wind type and the fastest. If you do not scout, then who will? Ngu Lang agreed with the plan and rushed ahead to scout it out. As Ngu Lang neared the ghost face tree, massive vines like giant pythons lunged right at him. The closer he got, the more those vines tightened their deadly grip, trapping him inside the space. He finally dodged the strike and retreated out of range to report the dangerous situation back to Li Luo. It is impossible to get close, let alone grab that ghost face fruit. Li Luo stayed calm. We strike together. Zhao Kuo, you act as our meat shield up front. I will help him dodge the direct attacks coming from that magic vine tree. You attack from the side and grab the fruit. But doing this means Zhao Kuo will take a massive beating. Zhao Kuo patted his chest. Do not worry, I am tough. Li Luo fully trusted his human shield. Good, Nu Long, wait for my signal to move. Grabbing the ghost face fruit should be easy this way. They stood in the woods and then charged forward together. The sentient tree saw 3 fresh targets and opened its terrifying maw in pure excitement. All 3 drew their weapons and attacked. Within seconds, Zhao Kuo already felt the crushing pressure. This tree is relentless. I do not think I can keep this up much longer. Suddenly, a root exploded from the earth. Li Luo screamed for Zhao Kuo, but he could not dodge in time and took the hit. That strike made Zhao Kuo cough up blood, but he stood firm. I am fine. Keep moving forward right now. As they got closer, the magic vine tree started to become more aggressive and desperate. The vines lashed out wildly at Zhao Kuo, but he did not make a single sound. He grit his teeth and kept moving. Li Luo shouted for Ngu Lang to strike now. Ngu Lang replied with a grin. You got it. Using his incredible speed, he blazed toward the target. He reached for the shrieking, ugly fruit on the branch just as someone else lunged for it. Both men reached out to snatch the strange fruit. Ngu Lang was furious that someone was trying to steal their prize. Where did you come from, you thief? Li Luo assessed the situation and yelled out, Ngu Lang, close your eyes right now. A blinding light suddenly exploded. Ngu Lang closed his eyes, but the other guy caught in the middle could not react. Before the thief could recover, Ngu Lang grabbed the fruit. Who are you? The man laughed. Fast reflexes, but I still missed it. Both sides launched an attack at the same time as Li Luo arrived with Zhao Kuo in tow. Ngu Lang recognized him. It was Lian Zhong from Dong Uyen Academy. He is the 2nd-ranked student, a 6th-grade Earth General with 8 seal strength. Lian Zhong smirked and said, Li Luo, I really underestimated you, Li Luo replied. So, you have been targeting me this whole time? My boss wants us to have some fun with you. You two should walk away from Li Luo before things get messy for everyone. Zhao Kuo yelled, Bullshit. Li Luo and I are brothers for life. The only way I would ever leave him is if. Ngu Lang cut him off. We are brothers for life. If you want me to abandon him, you will have to pay me a lot more. Lian Zhong looked at them like they were fools and issued one final cold threat. Fine, have it your way. I will see you in the next round of the qualifiers. After that, the trio tracked down 2 more magic vine trees and continued their hunt for points. They successfully grabbed 2 more fruits. Now Li Luo and Ngu Lang both had a score of 100 points. At the foot of Mount Ling, people were shouting, Look, the leaderboard is completely filled with scores of 100 points. Who cares about the leaderboard? Look at the screen. That is Thon Ni, the top student from the Phong Academy. She actually used her own raw power to take down the magic vine tree all by herself. Dong Uyen Academy is just as impressive. Look at that student using his incredible strength to win. He defeated the tree alone and took the fruit. I bet the top spot in this exam definitely belongs to one of those 2. Of course it does. Deep inside Mount Ling, Li Luo and his team were watching from a high cliff. Li Luo spoke up. Once we cross this stream, we will reach the qualifier arena. They charged forward together into the unknown. Li Luo asked his friends what they planned to do next. Zhao Kuo said he wanted to stick with Li Luo. Li Luo asked if it was because of Lian Zhong. Zhao Kuo laughed. I know you are not actually afraid of him, but I can still help you out. Besides, earning points is a lot faster when I follow you, Brother Luo. Li Luo nodded and then turned to Ngu Lang. What about you? Ngu Lang replied, You already know what I can do. Ngulang smirked. If you are willing to pay me to protect you, I will give you a discount of 1,000 gold. The other two immediately started walking away. Ngulang panicked and lowered the price to 500 gold. Li Luo held up 5 fingers, bartering for 5 gold. Ngulang beamed like he just closed a massive sale. Deal, he barked, before adding, you think 5 gold pieces could stain my honor? Naive. Li Luo stood speechless. You are totally unstable. Nu Lang then ordered Zhao Kuo to lead the way alone. Li Luo used water magic to hide. He agreed that trapping those vultures would save them the trouble of searching later. Zhao Kuo gave a quick thumbs up. Catching big fish? Sounds like a solid plan. Plan set, Zhao Kuo stepped out to play the Lonely King. From the shadows, the two watched his performance. Suddenly, Li Luo signaled, Shh, someone is taking the bait. But they are cautious. Zhao Kuo faked pure terror. 2 figures rushed out. Brother, we have been tailing you. Are you that Zhao Kuo from South Wind Academy? I am from South Wind, Zhao Kuo snapped. Just try me. The other snarled back. Enough talk. Hand over your points. Zhao Kuo lowered his head mysteriously, then shouted, You want my points? Dream on, boys. They are here. Li Luo and Ngu Lang appeared, surrounding them. The targets cursed loudly. Damn, a trap. A loud explosion echoed, and the two were finished. Li Luo smiled at the card. Good harvest. Who is next? Outside, their ranking numbers jumped higher. Kai Wei chuckled. The young lord is doing well. His score is climbing steadily. Ling Qing added, No real enemies yet. Soon we will see his true level. Kai Wei replied, I believe in him. Beauty is justice, after all. Ling Qing rolled her eyes. They hit 1,500 points, but catching prey was becoming much more difficult. Suddenly, thick white mist drifted toward them. Li Luo sensed danger. Fall back. The white smoke blinded him. He yelled for Zhao Kuo. Ngulang got no reply and realized they were separated. Calmly, he walked forward, stopping at some glowing mushrooms. Mist mushrooms. How annoying. Nearby, Zhao Kuo and Ngulang saw a shadow in the haze. Zhao Kuo called out, Brother Luo? But the newcomer was Lian Zhong. He sneered, No, Li Luo, so I will take his 2 lackeys. They felt pure panic. Zhao Kuo yelled, Split up! They ran, but enemies blocked the way. Ngulang was cornered. Zhao Kuo yelled, Fight them! Ngulang yelled, We surrender! Lian Zhong mocked them. South Wind students are cowards? Zhao Kuo gasped. Lang, what gives? Ngulang said, They want Li Luo, not our fight. Zhao Kuo spat. You trash! You said you were brothers for life! Ngulang laughed. I was just being polite. Ignoring Zhao Kuo's insults, Nu Lang told Lian Zhong, Spare me, and I will help you find Li Luo. An underling whispered to Lian Zhong, I have heard of this guy. He will do anything for money. Ngulang smiled. I gave you a hint. Lian Zhong asked, What hint? Ngulang struck a pose. I said pay more. His eyes gleamed. Pay up, and I will help. Lian Zhong countered, Lead me to Li Luo, and I will let you live. Ngulang agreed instantly. He even suggested, Zhao Kuo is close to Li Luo. Use him as a hostage. Zhao Kuo roared, Lang, I will kill you. Suddenly, Lian Zhong put a knife to Ngulang's throat. Find him, now. Ngulang smirked. When you catch him, punch his face. I have hated his stunning good looks for a long time now. Lian Zhong hissed. Pretty boys are the worst. They must die. Elsewhere, Li Luo sneezed. Is someone dreaming about me? Lian Zhong tightened his grip on Ngulang. Move! Ngulang smiled. Luo and I have a special way of signaling. Yu Lang held out a horn and said, Since we cannot speak, use this horn. Once Li Luo hears this unique sound, he will find us for sure. Zhao Kuo roared in a fury, Lang, you dare! But Yu Lang ignored him and blew the horn anyway. The sound echoed through the valley. Zhao Kuo yelled in rage, Traitor! I will tear you apart for this, I swear. Lian Zhong watched from behind, a faint smile on his face, as he thought to himself, This guy has no spine at all, but that is fine, he is exactly what I need right now. He stepped up and barked, Keep moving. Deep in the mist, a figure paused at the sound of the horn. Li Luo knelt down, listening intently. He figured those 5 were likely part of Lian Zhong's crew. He sighed at their terrible luck. Glancing toward the sound, Li Luo whispered the name Lian Zhong under his breath. He stood up calmly. You got away once, but did you really think I couldn't finish the job this time? A massive mountain loomed ahead, shrouded in thick fog. Lian Zhong's team pushed quickly through it. He frowned with total impatience. Why is there no reaction yet? Stop wasting my time and move faster now. He took a breath and nodded. Fine. Yu Lang kept walking, blowing the horn without stopping. Suddenly, a dark shadow trailed them. After a few steps, a hand reached out from the gloom. Li Luo grabbed the man in the rear, muffling his scream as he struggled to break free. Li Luo knocked the man out cold. Suddenly, another guard in front of him spun around and shouted, "Ambush!" Bright blue light flashed through the trees. In the chaos, Zhao Kuo made a quick break for it. The men screamed in confusion. Where did that blinding light come from all of a sudden? Zhao Kuo was gone. Lian Zhong slammed his blade down in a rage. "You dared to play us." Yu Lang dodged away, laughing. "You are an idiot if you thought you could catch me." Lian Zhong threw his knife in a rage, screaming for him to stop. Suddenly, another blade shot from the mist, blocking his attack. Lian Zhong watched his knife fall, stunned. Li Luo emerged from the fog with a cold look. Yu Lang crossed his arms and grinned. "Look, buddy, it is not a lie. He just offered me way more cash." The three of them stood their ground, staring Lian Zhong down. His eyes burned with a pure red rage. He snarled, "You played me." Yu Lang turned to Li Luo. "This guy is raging like a bull. Should we retreat for now? My bones are aching." Li Luo just shrugged. "Why would we run? We finally hooked a big fish. I am not about to let him get away now." Li Luo looked ahead. "You two take those three. You think you can handle that?" Zhao Kuo nodded. "Fine by me. I have been wanting to handle these bastards anyway." He and Yu Lang turned to go, but stopped to give one final warning first. "We are moving out. Be careful. If things get too dangerous, send a signal and we will find a way to get out of here." With that, they split up and headed toward their targets. Lian Zhong ground his teeth. He unleashed his 6th grade earth power, glowing with a fierce red light. He raised his sword. "Li Luo, don't think being the young palace lord will protect you from me now." Lian Zhong leaped high into the air. He raised his blade and screamed, "I am going to cut your face off!" Lian Zhong charged, shrouded in golden light. Li Luo raised his blade, summoning a surge of blue energy. He used all his strength to block the heavy sword strike coming down. The blades clashed with a blinding light. Lian Zhong shouted in disbelief, "How is this possible? He only has 7 seal power." A cloud of smoke erupted, and they both leaped backward. "Covered in blue light," Li Luo said calmly. "An 8 seal does not seem like much." Lian Zhong grit his teeth. He had to use his 9-layer green ridge. He could not let his power grow any further. He used a high-level technique, swinging his sword forward in a massive strike. Li Luo dodged the incoming strike and leaped into the air. He lunged forward, short blade in hand. Li Luo struck down hard. He let out a cold grunt and said, "That turtle shell is tough." Safe behind his stone wall, Lian Zhong yelled, "Li Luo, you are good. I did not think a 7 seal could push me this hard." He peeked out, declaring arrogantly, "But there is no way you are going to beat me." Li Luo smirked, his eyes narrowing in mockery. "Big brother, is this some kind of joke? Hiding in your shell because you cannot beat me? Weren't you acting all high and mighty just a second ago?" Hidden behind the rocks, Lian Zhong laughed. "Come on then, come and get me." A grin spread across his face. "Wow, I did not know you had such a warped desire for punishment." Li Luo raised his blade, his voice cold. "I guess I will have to grant your wish then." Lian Zhong watched, recognizing the high-tier water glow technique. He stared at the blue light swirling around his dual blades and spoke quietly to himself. Standard water glow might not be enough to crack that shell of yours. Suddenly, his gaze sharpened as he added, "But my water glow? It is a different story." He raised his blades and charged, shouting at the top of his lungs, "This is not ordinary." A blinding flash erupted as the blade collided with the defensive barrier. Li Luo stared ahead, his expression etched with pure focus and grim intensity. Lian Zhong gritted his teeth, glaring at him. Li Luo moved like a shadow, gliding past as Lian Zhong collapsed. As the mist cleared, he stood there, unmoved. High on the cliffside, a sudden blue light shimmered at the base of White Spirit Mountain. Watching the screen, an unknown voice spoke up in surprise. "Wait, is that guy the young lord of the house?" Ling Qing walked over carrying fruit and nodded. "It really is him." She looked up at the monitor and whispered, "What is Li Luo doing, fighting such a powerful enemy?" Kai Wei glanced back over her shoulder and asked, "So, who exactly is he up against right now?" Ling Qing replied, "That is Lian Zhong, ranked 2nd at Dong Uyen Academy. He is a 6th grade Earth Resonant with 8 seal level strength." Seeing Li Luo emerge victorious, Kai Wei cheered excitedly. "The young lord is actually incredible." Ling Qing was stunned, muttering to herself, "He actually won?" She looked up and thought, "Perhaps I finally believe he could really make it into the top 10. Wei Yisha closed his eyes, speaking calmly. "So Dong Yuan's 2nd rank was just defeated by our 15th rank from Nanfeng Academy? Truly fascinating." Master Jing added, as expected of the Luo Lan young lord. And Lai stared at the screen and asked a question. "Is this the young lord Li Luo from Luo Lan? The one engaged to Jiang Qingyi?" Wei Sha immediately replied, "That is the one." He laughed and said, "Even though Li Luo has not entered the Astral Sage Academy yet, his reputation has already spread far and wide throughout the entire school." Master Jing closed his eyes and noted that defeating one single opponent at the 8 seal level, does not guarantee admission into the Astral Sage Academy. Weisha glanced at him and said, in that case, you should just keep watching. Over here, Zhao Kuo and Yu Lang were outnumbered 2-3, yet they still pinned their opponents down completely. Zhao Kuo frowned, glancing toward the side. Hey Yu Lang, I think something is moving behind us. Yu Lang saw a shadow dragging someone out and screamed, please do not tell me Brother Luo is toast. Li Luo slammed Lian Zhang violently onto the ground, grinning. The others saw what happened and screamed in terror. We cannot win this. Run for your lives. Right then, a sudden burst of blue light shot out directly toward the retreating group. The group was tied up together as Li Luo's team started dividing the massive haul of points. This was a huge catch, Yu Lang suggested. Regarding Lian Zhang's points, Li Luo, you take those for yourself. Zhao Kuo and I will just split the points from these other 4. Zhao Kuo laughed and added, Brother Luo, you defeated Lian Zhang all by yourself. We cannot just swoop in and take advantage of that. Besides, you actually have the potential to hit the top 10. Do not worry about sharing these with us. Li Luo took the token and chuckled. Our friends from Dong Uyen Academy were certainly cautious. I wonder if there are more of them waiting further ahead. The 3 of them hurried forward as a voice urged them on. Move out. We are probably not that far from the White Spirit Void now. After finishing off the group from Dong Uyen Academy that was led by Lian Zhang, Li Luo's team pushed forward toward the final battlefield of the exam. The 3 of them stood silently, staring at the White Spirit Void. He said, we have arrived. Li Luo looked up at the stone monument in front of them and began reading the inscription aloud. He checked the final rules for the elimination round. Once only 10 people remain in the White Spirit Void, the exam ends. Rankings are determined by the point total. He used his identification card to project the current point rankings directly onto the stone surface. Li Luo scanned the list. Lu Qinger is first with 9,500 points. Si Kong is second with 8,300. I am 17th. Zhao Kuo saw the rankings and laughed, calling out, hey, Brother Luo, if we run into a really tough enemy, you should just run. The 2 of us will use our last strength to create some value. Yu Lang laughed and raised his hand, shouting, I want to run away with Brother Luo too. Zhao Kuo snapped, shut up and get lost. Do not hold Brother Luo back, you annoying burden. Li Luo looked toward the distance and thought, I only need to reach the top 10 to qualify. Right behind him, Zhao Kuo and Engu Lang won't stop bickering. I don't know who the real burden is. Shut up, or I'll handle you. Li Luo shouted, get into the White Void and find a place to hide for now. In the distance, a group gathered. Someone spoke up. Boss, Lian Zhang's name isn't on the leaderboard. He's gone. Si Kong replied, maybe Li Luo actually took him out. The crowd gasped in shock. Isn't Li Luo only at the 7th seal level? How could he beat Lian Zhang? Did you really think he was useless? Should we fight back? Our main target is Qing. Li Luo isn't even worth changing our plans for. Si Kong closed his eyes and smiled. Once we deal with Qing, he's just a clown, nothing to fear. Let's go meet up with the others now. A mark was carved into a tree. Inside a nearby house, a voice echoed. Si Kong, Qing still snatched some points from you. Tell us, when do we finally strike? Si Kong shrugged. Let her lead for now. We need to track her position first, then set the perfect trap. This task falls on Yun Feng. Yun Feng nodded. I'm ready. Xiang Liang let out a mocking laugh. Talk about a traitor in the house. A voice from the room said, thank you, Yun Feng. If this works, you'll be the biggest hero. Strange noises began echoing through the White Void. Li Luo looked up. People are being eliminated fast. Zhao Kuo sighed. Only 60 out of 100 left. Brutal. A green light flashed suddenly. Engu Lang landed softly. What happened? Li Luo stayed still. It's a mess out here. Everyone is fighting everyone. Engu Lang frowned. I saw Si Kong. He's with Xiang Liang, Su, and Songbin. Did they team up together? I bet they're joining forces to take down Qing. Si Kong is a snake. If Qing is walking into a trap, she's in trouble. Nugu Long asked, you going? Li Luo nodded. Qing can't fall. If they manage to eliminate her, Si Kong will wipe out everyone from our Southwind Academy. Li Luo looked back. You two stay put. I'm faster on my own. Zhao Kuo watched him sprint away. Good luck. Be careful. Li Luo whispered, Qing stay safe, or we're finished. Elsewhere, she sat calmly on a rock, fixing her hair. Suddenly, she paused and glanced aside. A figure approached. Qing, you're really making us girls look good. You're crushing all these guys by yourself. Qing stayed focused. It's not over yet. The girl laughed. Dong Uyen Academy really underestimated us this time. That Si Kong guy is trouble. Qing agreed. He was a dangerous opponent. The girl smiled. I left a sign for Yun Feng. He'll come help us. Qing narrowed her eyes. You left a signal for him nearby? The girl turned around. What's wrong? If he helps, Si Kong is nothing. Qing stood up. I'm leaving, don't follow me. She darted through the rocks. I hope I'm just being paranoid. Suddenly, thick vines burst from the ground. Qing leaped back. The vines lashed out. She dodged and counterattacked. The vines froze instantly. High above, Qing began clapping with a smug grin. Qing looked up. He was looming over her from the cliff. She scanned the area. She was completely surrounded now. Qing laughed. Got you, Qing. She stood her ground. She bit her lip and looked around. At the mountain base, the crowd watched the screens. Is Southwind Academy being targeted? Those guys have some nerve, ganging up on one girl. Tai Vai touched her face. Is she going to be okay? Lin Khan spoke up from the side. This is an open rebellion against Nam Phong Academy. She was stunned. This was serious trouble. Little Thon Ni had helped her once before she simply could not just stand by and watch this happen. Inside the pavilion, two figures stood frozen. VSAT radiated pure fury, his knuckles turning white as he gripped the railing. He spat through gritted teeth. Governor Su, you certainly put a massive amount of effort into this little trap. Su Qin just shook his head and laughed it off. Nam Phong Academy has held that #1 title for far too long. This current downfall is simply following the will of the people. VSAT scanned the area and snapped. Governor Su, your presence here in the Thien Phuc district is like a single drop of poison in the well. Su Qin fired back with a sneer. The principal forced my hand. VSAT heard those words and, closing his eyes, he promised, rest easy. I will personally see to it that your performance review this year is a total failure. By then, the governor will likely be looking for a new job. Su Qin just burst out laughing at the threat. If the #1 Academy title falls, their influence dies. And Liet watched the screens in total silence, muttering to himself, against an ambush like this, that girl Thon Ni does not stand a chance. Such a tragedy. Inside, Thon Ni stood her ground, staring down the mob of enemies surrounding her. Looking straight ahead, she mocked him. You really went through a lot of trouble just for this scene, did you not? He simply smiled back, showing his deep respect for her power. Suddenly, frost began to crawl over Thon Ni's gloved hand, coating it in thick, white ice. She thrust her arm forward, sending shards of frozen light screaming toward her enemies one after another. The hot-headed attackers charged all at once. She pivoted, conjuring a wall of ice to blast them back with force. Thon Ni leaped into the air as towers of ice erupted behind her. Cheeto's group began to panic at the sight. She truly has 9 seal strength as a high 7-tier ice general. Even with the 3 of us together, we cannot win. Hang Luong unleashed a spectral palm strike while Cheetah fired a bolt of shimmering purple energy. Tungban swung his blade, releasing a blue arc. Thun Ni watched the various attacks closing in on her. Blue light pulsed from her body, covered in glowing ancient symbols that began to appear. Then, she unleashed a massive frost wave that cleared the field. The crowd watching the screens erupted in cheers. 3 against 1 and she is still winning. This pretty little girl from Nam Phong Academy has some serious skills. Hang Luong barked for backup. Suddenly, Su Kong appeared behind her, wreathed in crackling purple lightning. She glanced back instinctively. By now, Thon Ni was ready to unleash her deadly secret technique. She raised her arm, creating a blue shield that intercepted the incoming purple strike with a loud bang. Dust filled the air. Thon Ni clutched her chest, shouting, "A high 7-tier lightning general? That power is truly overwhelming." Su Kong smiled back. Your high-level ice skills are quite elite, Thon Ni, but in this situation you will not escape today. She shrugged, looking bored. If you want to play games, I will take this to the very end. Suddenly, the glove on her hand fell away. Hang Luong gasped in total shock. Look at her hand. A glowing blue mark appeared on her arm. Su Kong turned serious. The trump card comes out at last. Thon Ni gently rubbed her wrist, her cold eyes scanning the terrified group. Su Kong warned them, "Stay sharp, everyone. That is her secret technique, the Ice Jade Hand." The others were paralyzed. The power of that move was equal to a high-level general tier technique. General techniques are usually a whole different level for those at the 10 seal stage. No one at that rank should have enough power to use them. Yet, Thon Ni's secret move was channeling that massive general tier power perfectly, despite her being at the 10 seal stage. Her face turned cold and focused. Moments later, she lunged forward, trailing a massive wake of frozen ice energy behind her. Su Kong looked confused, asking himself, "Is she really coming for me first?" He gathered his energy and leaped backward as fast as possible to create distance, shouting, "I will never let you catch me." A lightning general is just as fast as a wind general, after all. Thon Ni yelled out, "Wow, you really can run." Suddenly, her eyes locked onto him. Hang Luong gasped in confusion. Thon Ni hurled a massive orb of frozen energy directly at him. Hang Luong gritted his teeth, raising his sword in a desperate defense. Her glowing fist shattered his heavy blade instantly. She blurred past him in a flash while a massive explosion rocked the area behind them. She glared at the survivors with sharp eyes. Chito and Tongban cursed under their breath, realizing she just took down an 8-seal warrior in a single strike. The two of them fled, screaming, "Forget this! How are we supposed to fight a monster like that? Time to run, time to run." Tongbin glanced back to see Than Nhi closing in fast. She moved like a blur, leaving a trail of frozen statues behind her as she charged forward with lethal intent. Finally, Than Nhi looked at her own hand and wondered if she was reaching her absolute limit. She raised her hand high, lost in thought. After taking down those three, the faint bone frost patterns on her skin were starting to fade and go dim. Her power was almost spent. Suddenly, someone behind her started clapping. When Than Nhi turned around, she saw a man approaching with a sword in hand, offering some mock praise for her performance. "Your ice jade hand is truly impressive." Than Nhi immediately lunged at Sikong. She felt a surge of doubt as she realized he wasn't even trying to dodge. What was he planning? He stood his ground with a faint smile and let out a cold snort. Then, flashes of purple lightning erupted, striking down on Sikong until they formed a massive suit of wild thunder armor around his entire body. He smiled at her and said, "Than Nhi, if your ice jade hand were still at its full strength, then maybe you would have a chance. You might have been able to break my wild thunder armor, but right now, you just don't have enough power left." Than Nhi suddenly realized the truth. Sikong had used those three underlings just to drain her energy. Now her frost cloud was failing, and she was vulnerable to his next attack. The blue glow from her hand began to flicker and fade. She realized with a sinking heart that the power of her ice jade hand was completely exhausted. Sikong let out a low chuckle, gathering bolts of electricity around himself before launching forward with incredible, lightning-fast speed. Sikong slammed a powerful fist into Than Nhi's stomach, making her eyes go wide with agony. He watched as she collapsed onto the ground, blood beginning to trickle from the corner of her mouth. He stood over her, watching intently. Then, Sikong slowly extended his hand toward Than Nhi as she struggled to breathe. Out of nowhere, streaks of blue energy shot toward him. The light was so bright it forced him to shield his eyes as he pulled back. Sikong squinted through the glare and barked, "Who's there?" He caught sight of a mysterious figure lifting Than Nhi up and shouted out in confusion and anger, "Li Luo!" Sikong frowned deeply, pointing his hand forward and shouting, "Stop right there! You're not going anywhere!" He watched as the boy vanished right before his eyes. Staring at the empty space, Sikong cursed, "Damn that Li Luo! How dare he ruin my plans like this!" The ice frost vanished instantly. Hang Liang and the others were finally free, but they were left shivering and moaning on the ground from the cold. It's freezing. Is Than Nhi finished?" Sikong gritted his teeth, his face twisted in fury. Li Luo showed up and saved her. He spat out, "Our mission isn't over yet. Find Than Nhi immediately. I've already wounded her, so she can't have gone very far." His orders echoed through the air as he told them that once they found her, taking her out for good would be an easy task. "Spread the word that Than Nhi is severely injured. I'm sure there are plenty of opportunists out there who'd love to take a shot at her." Tai Vai rubbed her chin thoughtfully. "So, it was the young mansion master who stepped in to save Than Nhi, wasn't it?" Li Luo is quite the expert at playing the hero. His timing was absolutely perfect. What young girl could possibly resist a rescue like that? She teased lightly, wondering if Than Nhi was about to have another rival in love. Ling Qing smiled and added, "If that's the case, then things are about to get very interesting." In the pavilion, two figures stood in silent reflection. Si Jing allowed a small, knowing smile to cross his face. He lifted his teacup, thinking to himself that with her being so badly injured, her chances of defeating Sikong were now incredibly slim. Si Jing began to plot. Those people from the Luo Lan mansion were just as annoying and troublesome as they had always been. But it doesn't matter. As long as I keep control of Tianshu Prefecture, I will find a way to slowly dismantle and seize all of the Luo Lan mansion's assets here. Hidden deep inside the hollow of a massive tree somewhere within the Bailing Void, Li Luo held Than Nhi, whispering that they should be safe here for now. She opened her eyes, looking confused, then her face turned bright red as she realized the situation. He laughed softly after hearing her reaction and spoke up. "I know the whole hero saving the damsel thing is a lot for you to handle, but try to keep your feelings in check." Than Nhi puffed out her cheeks and looked away. Inside the hollow, Li Luo leaned over her, his brow furrowed with genuine concern as he asked, "How bad are your injuries, really?" Than Nhi looked down, full of self-reproach. "It's bad. I'm afraid my fighting strength is going to be severely limited from now on. I was just so careless." Li Luo's voice dropped as he replied, "Well, that's definitely going to be a major problem for us. Sikong's group will be hunting for us like madmen. It's only a matter of time before they track us down." She looked at him, feeling deeply apologetic. "I'm sorry, I failed to take first place and let everyone down." Hearing this, Li Luo couldn't help but let out a small laugh. "What does that have to do with you? Earning a rank is something everyone does for themselves. Did you get hit in the head too hard?" Than Nhi frowned and snapped back at him. "You're the one who's gone stupid." He pulled out a glowing blue orb and said, Oh, I almost forgot. Even though you're hurt, my water affinity means I can help heal your wounds. Thon Ni looked down and whispered, these injuries are too deep. I doubt they'll heal much in such a short amount of time. Li Luo placed his hand on hers and comforted her. Let's just heal what we can. Thon Ni's face turned crimson, and she yanked her hand away, shouting, you pervert! What are you doing? He replied calmly, I'm just using my water-resonant power to treat your injuries and stop the pain. Blushing, she pointed it out. At least do not hold my hand like that. Li Luo scratched his head and explained, my resonance power is weak, and clothes make it less effective. Why do you not turn around and I will lift your shirt just a bit? Qing Ni yelled in embarrassment. Li Luo got angry and crossed his arms. Fine, no more healing. You are too difficult to serve. Let us just sit here and get disqualified. Her face turned red as she whispered, do not stop. Qing Ni clutched her chest and apologized shyly. I am sorry. Please keep treating me. Li Luo raised his hand and said, give me your hand. Then he grabbed her and pulled her closer. Face burning, she turned her back to him. It was all because of her ice jade hand training. When her resonance power was not flowing, her hands became incredibly sensitive to any touch. Qing Ni's face grew even redder. Usually, she wore silk gloves to prevent anyone from touching her. Meanwhile, at the White Spirit Valley, Shi Kong stood on a cliff with his sword. He squinted at the valley below and muttered, I do not know why, but I feel a bit uneasy. Yun Feng stepped out from the mist. I can help you flush Li Luo out. He dragged Zhao Kuo along and continued. This guy is Zhao Kuo, Li Luo's best friend from the academy. Li Luo will realize he is here. We will see if he is willing to show his face to save him. We cannot kill during the exam, but we can definitely hang this guy up and have some fun. Zhao Kuo gasped, looking at him with complete shock and fear. Shi Kong turned back to Yun Feng and smiled. You really have some nasty tricks. Then his voice rang out. Hang Zhao Kuo up where everyone can see him. I want to see if Li Luo chooses to save his brother or stay with Qing Yi. Chi Su hesitated and asked, isn't this taking things too far? Shi Kong snapped back at her. If Li Luo had not stuck his nose in, none of this would happen. It is all his fault. She stayed silent after that, not saying another word. Fog swirled outside, hiding everything. Inside the cave, Li Luo glanced at Qing Yi and asked, are you doing okay? She widened her eyes and asked urgently, is it done yet? Is it over? Qing Yi gathered her energy and gasped in surprise. My injuries are 80% healed. Li Luo, you are amazing. He smiled and urged her, hurry up and recover your resonance power while you can. Qing Yi tilted her head and smiled. Suddenly, a dark figure rushed down from above and shouted, Li Luo, I know you can see me. Li Luo jumped and looked over, sticking his head out to see. Shi Kong sat in a tree, dangling Zhao Kuo as a threat. I will not waste any more words. Hand over Qing Yi, and I will let your friend go. If you stay hidden, do not blame me when I drop him face first into the dirt. Li Luo cursed under his breath at the coward. Suddenly, a loud shout echoed through the area. Shi Kong, you absolute jerk. Yu Lang flew out from behind and yelled, do not let me catch you, or I will bury you alive myself. Zhao Kuo, I am here to save you. Yun Feng was stunned to see him. That is Yu Lang. Yu Lang charged forward. I am here to save you. Yun Feng raised his hand, gathering energy to strike. You are not going anywhere. That gold light swerved and dodged as the orange blast came flying toward it. Yu Lang smirked and moved in. He slashed hard at the star badge on Zhao Kuo's chest. It shattered instantly. Then Yu Lang crushed his own star badge and laughed out loud at them. I am out of badges now. I am officially disqualified, so come and get me. Yun Feng yelled out, Yu Lang, you actually have a brain in that head of yours. He grinned and replied. Thanks for the compliment, Yun Feng asked. You could have made the top 10. Was this really worth it? Yu Lang laughed and answered. A big idiot like you would never understand my reasons. Li Luo watched from above as Yu Lang shouted. I might love money, but I still have some standards. He stood still, watching the scene below. Yu Lang yelled, helping another academy hurt my own people? I could never do something that low. Shi Kong cut him off from the side. Fine, whatever, just forget it then. Keep searching every inch. Li Luo peered through the leaves as the wind kicked up, blowing dry branches away to reveal strange green glowing spots at the base of a nearby tree. Inside the cave, Qing Yi closed her eyes, focusing all her energy on healing. Suddenly, she snapped her eyes open. Li Luo walked back in and asked, how is the recovery going? Qing Yi smiled slightly. Not too bad. Li Luo looked serious. In this state, can you still beat Shi Kong? She shook her head. No. Shi Kong is just as strong as me. Plus, my injuries are not fully healed yet. She frowned and looked at Li Luo. What is wrong? You look upset. Li Luo explained how Shi Kong and Yun Feng were using Zhao Kuo to bait him. Qing Yi was furious when she heard the news. That is way too far. I am helping you. Li Luo looked at her and assigned the targets. I will handle Shi Kong. You go settle things with the other three. She looked concerned. You are fighting him? Please tell me you are not just acting tough right now. He felt a wave of irritation. Can you just trust me for once? Qing Er looked grave. You are only a seventh seal. Li Luo closed his eyes and smirked. He held up 3 fingers. That is why I am hitting the 8th seal. He held up 2 fingers, 2, then 1. A blue light suddenly wrapped around him as he broke into the 8th seal now. He grinned. All done. Her eyes widened in total disbelief. Go, a voice echoed in the cave. Just kidding. Qing Er watched him closely. Your cultivation speed is getting a bit insane. Honestly, I feel like a 7th grade soul is not that big a deal. I was right on the edge before the exam. I just used a little spirit water to push it over the line. Their voices echoed. Even with the 8th seal, your odds of winning this are still pretty low. We will see about that. Suddenly, a shadow appeared outside the cave and started moving toward them quickly. Someone shouted into the cave. He screamed for everyone to move. Then a white blur sent him flying back. The crowd gasped. It was Qinger. Ice crystals formed in her hands as the mob erupted in pure fury and noise. It is Qinger. She is fine. Shikong lied to us. Her cold gaze swept over them. Get lost. She snapped at the crowd. Our only target is Shikong. Suddenly, more people approached from behind. Shikong smiled. Qinger, I see your wounds have healed up already. She glared at Yunfeng. You are truly pathetic. He raised his hands in defense. Qinger, I had no other choice. She turned away, ignoring him. Yunfeng ground his teeth. Fine. Act all high and mighty for now. Let us see how arrogant you are after you are eliminated from the entire competition. He glared at Li Luo. Are you some kind of stray dog? You love sticking your nose in other people's business? Li Luo looked back. Did you play those dirty games with Engu Lang? Shikong laughed. This has nothing to do with you. Leave now and you might still make the top 10. Deal? Li Luo looked him in the eye. I am pretty pissed. I am not letting you or that traitor Yun Feng reach the top 10. Purple light flashed in his eyes. Are you completely insane? Shikong turned cold and gave a sharp order. Keep her busy. Once I finish him, I will help you. The others nodded in perfect unison. Outside, the crowd watched the screens in silence. Tai Wei stared, her arms tightly crossed. The audience stared at the screen in shock. Is the young lord really going to fight both of them alone? Why is he so brave? He is handsome, so maybe he has real skill. Or maybe it is just for show. Ling Kan looked worried. What on earth is that little ancestor trying to do? Can he actually beat them? Tai Wei looked up at the screen. I really do not know. Up on the high stage, Shi Jing chuckled. That boy certainly has a lot of heart, I admit. Too bad he is not like Qing Ah. Visat frowned. If the Academy had another genius like her, things would change. It would raise the Academy's name across the country, just like his legendary father. Will your son really pull off a miracle this late in the game? Back in the spirit realm, Li Luo stood his ground. He tilted his head and smiled. So, how do we play? Yunfeng barked. Stop acting. I can take you down all by my damn self. Shikong narrowed his eyes. Stop guessing if he is real or fake. Just move in together and end this fast. 2 shadows blurred forward, and Li Luo looked like he was about to lose his mind. Hey, you guys are not following the script. He swung his hand, unleashing a blast of energy. Shikong shut his eyes and hissed. Not this again! Everyone, close your eyes right now! They covered their eyes and cursed. He is gone. They looked toward where Qinger and Heng Luong were fighting. Yunfeng growled. It was a decoy. This guy is way too clever for us. Purple light erupted from Shikong as he gave chase. He is going to help her. I will stop him. He threw his spear forward with everything he had. I will not let you win. This ends now. Instantly, the long spear pierced through, and the illusion vanished into thin air. Shikong gasped at the sight. Damn it, we fell for it. This was a bait and switch. His target was Yunfeng. From behind him, Yunfeng scanned the area, wondering, where did he go? Suddenly, a voice whispered in his ear. Think I am just a puppet? An energy blade suddenly slashed through the air. Blocking the blow, Yunfeng growled. Li Luo, I will show you how lucky you were to get a draw last time. He glared with gritted teeth. The swords collided with a loud metallic clang, instantly sparking a surge of electricity that threw them back. Both staggered back as Yunfeng hit a nearby boulder. Internally injured, he coughed up a mouthful of dark blood, eyes wide, muttering about his luck. Moments later, the smoke began to fade, leaving only a few white streaks. Li Luo stood tall, staring right at Yunfeng. With a mocking smile in his eyes, he asked, What was that you just said? Yunfeng stared back in disbelief, his mouth trembling as he stammered, You. How are you already at the 8 seals? This is impossible. He clearly refused to accept this reality. Teeth clenched, eyes bulging with pure resentment. That smooth power he felt from his opponent was exactly like a high 7th grade water resonance. Li Luo calmly shared some history. This actually goes back 16 years. It was the very day I was finished being weaned. He cut himself off there. His 6th sense warned him as Yunfeng stood frozen, lips tight and alert. Li Luo landed a heavy punch right on his cheek, sending more fresh blood spraying. Yun Feng winced, his brow furrowed as he asked in a rage, "You playing me?" Li Luo smirked, his voice dripping with an arrogant, condescending tone. "Smart guy. I knew you would catch on." A second later, the atmosphere shifted violently as Yun Feng erupted in a fury that seemed ready to incinerate everything. He let out a pained, gravelly, throat-shredding scream. With eyes burning with hatred, he yelled, "You want to die?" He grabbed his spear, pointing its cold, sharp tip directly at Li Luo. Li Luo stood his ground calmly, raising a hand as he shouted the great reflective art incantation. Sensing immediate danger, Yun Feng glared at the spear, his brow tightly furrowed. This was not good. Li Luo laughed, squinting with a knowing look. Just kidding. In the blink of an eye, a flash of green light streaked past, blinding everyone on the field. Through the light, a miserable curse echoed out. "Damn it!" With a swift, decisive move, Li Luo slashed Yun Feng's neck, sending a spray of red into the air. He turned quickly to check the situation when a burst of orange light appeared. A figure rushed forward with a terrified, piercing scream. Suddenly, Shi Kong leaped into the fray, screaming at the top of his lungs, "How dare you!" Instantly, Yun Feng took another heavy blow from Shi Kong's staff. Blood kept pouring from his mouth, his eyes rolling back in his head. The battle ended with Yun Feng's absolute and humiliating defeat. Li Luo glanced back casually and asked, "Oh, are you back for dinner already?" Shi Kong squeezed his eyes shut, teeth bared as he bit his lip, clearly shaken and afraid of what happened. Yun Feng's broken body hung from a rock, pinned by the staff Shi Kong had just thrown. As for Shi Kong himself, he looked completely stunned by the outcome. "Li Luo, it seems everyone has truly underestimated what you can do." Though he acknowledged him, he held on to his pride. "Don't get cocky. Even with this, you haven't really changed the final outcome of things here." Li Luo didn't care, his face still wearing that smug grin. "I have only one thought. Like Ngulang said, I will flip you both into a manure pit." Without another word, Shi Kong drew his weapon and said shortly, "Show me your real strength, Li Luo. Otherwise, I will make the young lord of House Luo Lan lose all credibility today." Li Luo dropped into a fighting stance as Shi Kong lunged from above. Li Luo braced himself, ready to defend from the ground. As he slammed down, his spear driving straight into the earth, a massive shockwave ripped through the entire area. Caught off guard by this overwhelming power, Li Luo's eyes widened. He studied his opponent closely, biting his lip in concentration. A split second later, he stared ahead in shock, his eyes filled with total confusion and dread. Shi Kong unleashed a mysterious move that turned the area pitch black, with eerie purple light streaks darting wildly through the darkness. After the attack, he paused to think, channeling his energy seals. But why was this resonant power so pure? Even my lightning resonance cannot seem to penetrate his body to cause any internal damage. Li Luo took the hit but wasn't down. He spat out the blood in his throat and let out a bizarre, twisted laugh. "Nine Seals power, high 7th grade lightning resonance. You really are a formidable opponent, aren't you?" Li Luo didn't look worried at all. He chuckled softly to Shi Kong. "I have been lying low for years. I guess it is finally time for a real show." This once quiet forest is now shattered by explosions. Smoke and blinding light collide, turning the entire scenery into a chaotic, hazy mess of destruction. A flash of light rips through. Shi Kong stands there, eyes shut, wearing a smile that is both wicked and strangely innocent. Li Luo grits his teeth, pouring every ounce of strength into the fight. Neither expected this duel to become so violent and intense, but Shi Kong proves he still has the upper hand, suppressing Li Luo with ease. He looks smug as he narrows his eyes, thinking to himself that this stalemate is becoming quite irritating. Time to end this. He immediately unleashes a crushing, high-level technique known as the Thunder Roar Bird to finish the job. Facing the pressure, Li Luo doesn't back down. He instantly summons the Waterlight Magic Mirror. Beast meets magic in a head-on collision. The poor forest absorbs yet another massive, earth-shaking blast. After a moment, the smoke clears. Shi Kong leans on his knees, struggling to keep his balance. His arrogance has vanished completely, replaced by a cautious, narrowing glare. "So, is this the strange water mirror technique you used to push Yun Feng to his absolute limit back then?" Li Luo grins, pressing him on that very question. "That's right, you can call it the Great Peace Technique." He's fuming, his face twisted in a tight scowl as he hisses through his teeth. "Damn it, are you really trying to play games with me right now?" He lunges forward, venting his boiling rage with a scream. "Let's see how long you can keep that mouth shut." The Great Peace Technique. Meanwhile, at the base of White Spirit Mountain, spectators watch the fight through a light pillar, shouting in pure disbelief. Nobody expected Li Luo to hold his own against Shi Kong for this long. Tai Vi gasps, stunned and thrilled. Since when did the young master reach the 8 seals? Ling Khan watches closely, impressed. He's truly the son of those two legends. Nearby, the crowd starts whispering, "Hey, Didn't you say he was completely powerless just a month ago? Who knows? Maybe the intel was just wrong. Meanwhile, Li Luo and Si Kong are completely unaware they're being watched, as they pour every drop of power into taking each other down. Li Luo stays calm, conjuring a faint, shimmering vortex, the peace technique. Si Kong scoffs, a mocking smirk appearing. Suddenly, Li Luo panics, breaking into a sweat. What's happening? The rebound force was suddenly absorbed. A moment later, a massive surge of light and energy blasts through the air, heading straight for Li Luo. Si Kong takes control. Li Luo's heart sinks as he thinks this is bad. He's been played once again. The attack hits him with such overwhelming speed and violence that his body can't take it, forcing him to cough up blood. Li Luo glares with pure resentment, his eyes narrowing in fury. Si Kong just laughs. Did you really think relying on that trick would be enough to stop me? He barely finishes speaking when a massive light tornado erupts, his overwhelming power completely crushing the space around them. Li Luo watches every move. He recognizes the strike immediately. The Thunder Armor. He remembers Thon Ni mentioning this one before. This is Si Kong's trump card. It boosts his defense and attack power, making him nearly unstoppable. While Li Luo processes the info, Si Kong charges forward like a lightning bolt. The spear grazes him. Li Luo barely dodges, but Si Kong keeps the pressure on. You think I wasn't prepared? Go ahead and run. I'll just cut you down. The sharp spearhead lunges in a straight, lethal line toward Li Luo. He manages to leap back once more, but he can already feel that escape won't be easy this time. One blade grazes his ear, another slices his arm. Everyone watching from above goes silent as the battle reaches its climax. Tai Vi's eyes are filled with anxiety as she whispers the young master's name. Seeing Si Kong's arrogant face, many onlookers begin to wonder. It looks like the top-ranked South Wind School might finally lose its crown in this exam. Li Luo gasps for air, eyes locked on his enemy. How can he beat someone this cunning? The broadcast shows Li Luo covered in wounds, but his face still carries a look of absolute, unshakable determination. The crowd begins to buzz with chatter. Most of the people watching have already lost hope in Li Luo winning this fight. They whisper that he'll likely be knocked out very soon. A worried young man weighs in, noting that although Li Luo's rise to power was incredibly fast, facing a monster like Si Kong is a completely different story. He watches Li Luo struggle, desperately fighting with both his blades. His face is covered in wounds and the tension is rising. He's so close, but it's still not enough. It's truly a shame as the dramatic battle rages on. Su Hong taunts with supreme confidence. Li Lak wants a raw power struggle. He strikes with a flash that rips the sky open. He sneers. It seems your strength is still far from enough. Su Kong's raw power knocks Li Lak way back. Without giving him a second to recover, the spearman lunges forward with lethal speed. He sweeps his blade in a sharp arc, then points the spear skyward for a powerful finishing blow. The attack connects. Li Lak staggers back, coughing up a mouthful of blood. Su Kong grins, swinging his spear in a relentless blur. One heavy hit sends Li Lak flying back into a massive rock, causing a thunderous, echoing crash. Perched high on a boulder, spear in hand, he watches calmly. Su Kong is full of himself, his voice dripping with sarcasm. If you want to save face for yourself in the Lak Lam house, you should just give up right now. Slumped against the cracked stone, Li Lak is motionless. He looks completely unconscious after that brutal impact. After taking those hits, his vision blurs. He realizes this guy is a truly formidable opponent to deal with. Suddenly, his cold eyes snap open, wearing a calm and focused smile. This intense pressure is exactly what he needs right now. A sudden wind blurs the battlefield. Su Kong feels a sudden chill. He frowns, wondering why this sense of dread is washing over him. To keep his advantage, he rushes in for the kill. He screams, "This ends now!" A surge of violet energy blasts the exact spot where Li Lak was sitting. But he is faster, narrowly dodging the strike. Su Kong senses something shifting nearby. Over there, Li Lak focuses his inner power and pulls out a different weapon, a massive bow. Outside, the crowd watches with curiosity as he suddenly draws that huge bow. What is he planning? What could he be up to? Versat stays silent, watching the boy thoughtfully. Li Lak builds massive energy in his arms, preparing for a powerful counterattack. Li Lak's power manifests as a long spear. Su Hong grimaces, his eyes narrowing in pure annoyance. Still trying to pull these tricks after all this? Give me a break. Li Lak remains calm, his eyes steady. He thinks to himself, this move really drains a lot of energy. He combines his high-level water and light techniques, merging the power of flowing currents with the blinding speed of pure radiance. He calls this ultimate move the Radiant Flow Arrow as he releases it. Su Hong senses the massive energy and begins to feel a cold wave of terror. What is happening? It feels like I am facing a monster. Even standing against Thon Ni did not make me feel this kind of overwhelming, deadly pressure. He spins around, seeing the blinding light from Li Lak's attack about to be unleashed. Su Hong decides to retreat immediately and regroup. Better safe than sorry. The arrow flies with world-shaking force, a jagged bolt of massive energy screaming towards Su Kong's unprotected back. He glances over his shoulder in a panic, shouting out his lightning move. Two mighty powers are about to collide. Lilac smirks, is lightning fast? Sure, but is it faster than light? That arrow of light easily tears through Su Kong's desperate defense. He roars in absolute fury. I am not afraid of some low-level brat like you. Su Kong raises his spear to face the incoming attack head-on. Growling, bring it on! The two weapons clash violently. Neither side seems to be backing down, but the answer comes quickly. Lilac's strike shatters his opponent's weapon, piercing straight through Su Kong's guard and landing a direct hit. Blood splatters everywhere, staining his entire face. But he still refuses to quit. Suddenly, a piercing scream echoes through the air, instantly grabbing Lilac's full attention. He looks up at Lilac, standing heroically on the rock with his bow. Su Kong simply cannot accept this reality. How is this even possible? The tables have turned completely. Su Kong is battered and kneeling in the dirt. His eyes bulge with rage as he moans in total agony and defeat. Lilac watches him carefully, still calculating his next move. On the big screen, someone lets out a very sharp and shocked cry. People are asking what the hell is going on. Another loud shout rings out, echoing through the entire crowd. Am I seeing things? Thai Vi, who was watching the whole time, gasps in disbelief at what she is seeing. Lilac actually beat him, Lin Khan confirms beside her. It looks like he really won this fight. Thai V's eyes sparkle with admiration. So, our young master was hiding his true power all along? It seems our young master's personality is actually nothing like his parents', is it? Lin Khan feels a bit annoyed hearing all this constant, glowing praise. Hey, sounds like you are totally on the young master's side now, huh? Of course I am. A guy that handsome and talented is very hard to find. Meanwhile, a massive roar of excitement erupts, echoing throughout the castle. Versat strokes his beard, impressed. Truly the son of Thai Huan and Dai Lam, a tiger does not breed a cub. See that? This is the ultimate trump card of our Phong Academy. Hearing the praise made Su Jing even angrier. His rage boiled over as he hissed. Can you shut up for 1 second? Wei Sha just laughed and started mocking him right back. Be quiet? You have got to be kidding me. Who the hell do you think you are anyway? Trying to shut me up? Su Jing lost it, yelling that Li Luo must have cheated. Elsewhere in the castle, Li spoke up, reminding them both that the grand exam was still in progress. If you two keep disrupting the high-stakes exam right here, next year, the Saint Astral Academy might just slash the number of students they recruit from this entire district. Over in the White Spirit Ruins, Qing was racing against time. She could not believe she had actually agreed to let him go up against the powerful Su Kong alone. Li Luo, you better keep holding on. She finally reached the competition grounds and skidded to a sudden halt. I am here. A guy tied up in the distance saw her and started mocking her. Man, you sure run fast. Just watching you is exhausting. Besides, that kid probably got crushed by Su Kong a long time ago. Qing wide eyes filled with total shock. Across from her, someone was literally pinned into a giant rock. It was Yun Feng. Zongbin stood nearby, trembling as if he had just seen something terrifying. Hey, look over there. Right there was Su Kong, kneeling on the ground and clutching his neck while screaming in pure agony. Someone shouted his name. Su Kong. That is when Qing spotted Li Luo, just sitting calmly on top of a massive rock. The crowd started buzzing with rumors. Li Luo actually took down both Su Kong and Yun Feng? There is no way that is possible. His handsome face was now covered in bruises and cuts. When he finally saw her, Li Luo spoke softly. So you finally showed up. Li Luo looked at her with eyes full of deep thought. Qing was clearly worried and asked him, Li Luo, are you okay? Li Luo rubbed his head awkwardly and asked for help. Come get me down. I am out of energy and afraid to jump. Qing was speechless. She looked at him and asked, wait, were you just sitting up there acting cool because you were stuck without energy? Amidst the pile of collapsed rocks, Li Luo finally reached the ground and looked at the kneeling losers with a smirk. Looks like you guys are finished. Su Kong wiped the blood from his face and hissed through gritted teeth. Li Luo, you really were hiding your true strength this whole time. Li Luo bragged about his victory with a grin. Why did you guys have to push me? I was honestly just aiming for the top 10. Hearing that made him so angry, he literally started coughing up blood. Li Luo just stuffed his hands in his pockets, standing over them holding their cards. Do not die on me just yet. Let me see. Good, there are still 12 people left. He mocked them coldly, saying things almost went south. Any idea what I will do next? Su Kong glared at him, his teeth grinding in pure rage. Li Luo, you are absolutely ruthless. Yun Feng tried to speak up for Su Kong. Li Luo, you cannot do this. You are going to offend both the Song family and the governor's office. Li Luo held up the point cards, which were now reset to 0. Su Kong from the East Abyss Academy is at 0 points, eliminated. He moved on to the next one. Yun Feng from the South Wind Academy, your points are zeroed. Eliminated. Li Luo just kept going, sounding totally energized. Everyone, let's give it up for Su Kong and Yun Feng for taking the 11th and 12th spots. Suddenly, he turned toward the three guys still kneeling there. Wow, you three really got lucky today, didn't you? Hearing that, Zhang Bin immediately looked pathetic. Brother Luo, we were forced into this. Once we get into the Saint Astral Academy, you will definitely be our boss. Li Luo closed his eyes in annoyance and gave the order. Qing wipe their points too. I honestly cannot stand the sight of them. Suddenly, Qing gave him a sweet smile but refused to follow the order. She simply said, no, let's not. Her words caught Li Luo off guard. Wait, what? Zhang Bin, however, was quick to figure out exactly what Qing was planning. He quickly explained it. Brother Luo, she means that if she takes our points, her own score will end up higher than yours. And she would become number one in the whole exam. Everyone's eyes lit up like they had found a savior, their minds racing. Zhang Bin felt like he had found a lifeline and was secretly grateful. She had a perfect chance to be number one, yet she chose to stay behind Li Luo. Then there was Jisoo, who was totally confused. What kind of relationship is this? What is even happening right now? Xiang Liang was watching with pure admiration. Brother Luo is so cool. There is definitely something going on between them. It was like discovering a whole new world. This said it all. Li Luo tried his best to convince her. Qing hurry up. I am afraid of being number one. Despite his pleading, she just sat there on the rock with her hands on her face, smiling softly. You will get used to it soon enough. He yelled out in frustration, Qing do not do this to me. Just do it already. Hurry up. I really do not want to be number one. I am begging you. Qing just kept smiling admiringly until the bell finally signaled the end. A girl nearby screamed with joy. The exam is over. We made the top 10. I am finally going to the Saint Astral Academy. Meanwhile, Su Kong's face was dark with pure rage. As for Li Luo, he was completely speechless and did not know what to say. Unfortunately for Li Luo, things did not go his way at all, and that included him taking the top spot. The high pillar now displayed the final rankings of all the participants. Number 1, Southwind Academy, Li Luo. Number 2, Southwind Academy, Qing. Li Luo hitting the top took everyone by surprise. No one expected the top spot to go to someone other than Thon Ni. It wasn't even Si Kong. It was Li Luo, the guy who had been hiding his true strength this whole time. Observers couldn't look away from the young boy. He lacked the sharpness of a sword, but he felt like a deep abyss. You never knew what secret trump cards he still held. Deng Ping clenched his fist, beaming with pride. Did you see that? Li Luo is in first place? Feng sat there dazed, eyes wide as if he couldn't believe the reality. He felt the sting of regret. The top scorer wasn't even from his department. Phong Academy had never seen anything like this before. My reputation is finished this time. Deng Ping laughed, patting him on the shoulder while offering some friendly advice to Lin Feng. You are a true friend. From now on, I won't ever try to compete with you again. Feng raised a hand as if he were fine, but inside he was crying. He choked out the words, telling him they were like brothers and not to worry. Tai Vi let out a long breath of relief. That was a result that absolutely no one could have predicted. Lin Kan was stunned, but above all, she felt purely happy about how the rankings turned out. Li Luo really hid his talent well. Even Thon Nga will be shocked by this news. Tai Vi looked at the sky and thanked her stars. With the young master entering the Astral Sage Academy, maybe he can finally ease the pressure on Thon Nga. She spoke while staring at the distant rolling mountain ranges, silently pinning her hopes on a future far beyond the horizon. If Li Luo keeps performing this well, there is no doubt he can continue to win the people over and unite them. By then, House Luolan will finally start to stabilize. The surrounding crowd began to buzz with the latest gossip. Look, Li Luo and Lu Thon Ni are coming out. Everyone started shouting their praises for Brother Luo. Zhao Kuo fist bumped Li Luo, praising him. Man, you are incredible. Li Luo asked where that fool Ingu Lang went. Zhao Kuo pointed toward a corner where a guy and girl stood. Where else would he be? Flirting with some junior girl, obviously. Over there, Ingu Lang was confidently showing off some useless tricks, yet the girl was looking at him with pure admiration. He was talking nonstop. I worked so hard to mess with Si Kong's head, which is why Li Luo could take first place. You could say at least half of the credit for this victory belongs to me. But it's fine. We are brothers. I don't care about fame. Li Luo turned pale. This guy was truly shameless. Thon Ni finally spoke up. Li Luo, they say today is a lucky day. So we are having a small celebration tonight. Are you coming? A nearby girl joined in, begging Brother Luo to join them. Please come with us, Brother Luo. He rubbed his chin, looking indecisive while struggling with the thought of it. How boring. Everyone will just be praising me the whole time. Plus, those younger girls might try to take advantage of me. Standing in front of a massive tavern, he finally made his choice. Fine, I guess I can reluctantly agree to go. The sky turned a fiery red as the sun set, and the tavern lights flickered to life. Inside, beer mugs were clinking together. Everyone was lost in the joy of the party, laughing and chatting in small groups. Li Luo spoke up to show his gratitude. Thanks to Thon Yi for renting out this whole place. Everyone is having fun. She rested her chin on her hand and gave a sweet reply. A nearby student holding a drink toasted the two of them. A perfect duo with Sister Thon. This story will definitely become a legend here at Nanfeng Academy. Li Luo's expression shifted. Worry flashed across his face, even though he managed to keep a polite smile. It is lucky we are in Nanfeng City. If I were back in the capital, I would definitely be facing domestic violence. Thon Yi smiled happily while clinking glasses with the boy. Suddenly, someone nearby started yelling out in anger. Damn it! That traitor Van Fong. He is from our academy, but he helped a rival school hurt Sister Thon. He is absolute trash. Fap Tin walked toward Thon Yi, holding a glass of water with both hands. She spoke up shyly, apologizing for what happened. If I hadn't left that signal, you wouldn't have been caught in their ambush. Thon Yi clinked glasses and replied softly. It is fine. It is all in the past now. Li Luo's face darkened the moment he saw her. He thought to himself that being friends with idiots was truly exhausting. Fap Tin looked over at him politely. Li Luo, I was always against you before. I hope you won't hold a grudge. Her next words made Thon Yi's expression turn thoughtful, and she gave a small, quiet nod. Your performance today proves you are worthy of Senior Kwong. Li Luo just nodded, waving his hand as if saying goodbye. He noticed something and looked at her. He asked what was wrong. Her expression seemed off. Thon Yi didn't look at me, her eyes fixed on the wine glass. Nothing, she replied. Her eyes held a world of secrets as she looked down, muttering something vague. She just seemed to despise how foolish people could be. Her words left me in an uneasy silence. Up on the second floor, I started digging for more information about the situation. Since Van Fong missed the top 10, doesn't that mean he will be competing for a spot with us now? Thon Yi explained the details. Technically, yes, but our old academy head is famous for having a very nasty temper. In a shadowy corner upstairs, 3 blurry figures stood watching everything happening down below like hawks scouting their prey. I doubt he will let Van Fong get what he wants, a girl whispered. She was the sister of Tong Van Fong from the St. Astral Academy. Tong Thu Vu was there with Mac Lang and Defap Can Min, all elite students from the top academy. Can Min frowned, his face full of pure contempt. Who would have thought that trashy young lord would actually take first place in the Tien Thu grade exam? Thu Vu explained that he wasn't useless anymore. Winning the top spot in the exam proved this young lord had at least some real talent. Mac Lang smiled, agreeing slightly but still dismissing the idea. Tien Thu district is still bottom tier, he argued. Word is that in stronger districts, 10 Seal Realm geniuses have already appeared. Thu Vu heard this and her expression immediately darkened with a cold, stern look. Mac Lang, I know your North Cow district has powerful supporters behind it. Stop mocking our district. Mac Lang stepped closer to comfort her, claiming he meant no offense. Thien Thuk has a legend like Thon Nga, so no one dares look down on it. He teased, asking if she was annoyed by these little kids. Maybe I should go say hello. She was still stuck in her feelings, her brows furrowing in frustration. Stop it, they are just kids. Mac Lang didn't push it, waving goodbye to Thu Vu as a senior student should. Should we give them a little taste of what life is like at St. Astral Academy for real? Even as he walked away, Thu Vu called out, telling him not to overdo it, just scare them a bit. She smiled with pure contempt, thinking that the long night might actually be fun. The gap between the 10 Seal stage and the general stage is a cliff. Thu Vu watched Mac Lang's retreating figure, her mind racing with a plan. She planned to give those kids a very vivid lesson before they even set foot in St. Astral Academy. The night grew deep as the moon rose high. The party was winding down, and the loud chatter had finally started to fade. I raised my voice to announce that it was late. The exam just ended. Everyone is exhausted, so let's head back and get some sleep. Suddenly, a commotion broke out ahead. Someone shouted loudly, asking if they were walking without eyes. I wondered if someone was looking for a fight. Mac Lang was right there in the middle of it. He put a hand to his ear, his other hand in his pocket, speaking with total disdain about their little celebration. This little kid wasn't paying attention and stepped on my foot, so it was just a small punishment. Don't pay it any mind. Thon Yi stepped from behind me, her voice cold as ice. So you just hit people now? Her appearance immediately caught the young man's attention, leaving him stunned. Her incredible aura and elegant style drew every eye in the room, making everyone stop and stare in awe. With beauty and grace like that, she would be considered top tier even among the elites at St. Astral Academy. Mac Lang adjusted his shirt, replying with a cocky, arrogant smirk. Sorry about that, my hands just moved too fast. Are you Nam Fong students? I am a student at St. Astral Academy, which makes me your future senior. Be respectful. The crowd started whispering, realizing they couldn't fight back against someone from the legendary St. Astral Academy. I leaned in and whispered to Than Yi. It looks like this guy didn't come here to be friendly. She closed her eyes, already sensing the trouble. He likely wants to test the top scorer's strength. Mac Lang stood there with a smug look, his voice dripping with sarcasm. So, I heard you managed to take the top spot in the Thien Thuk grade exam. I frowned, staying silent as he walked past me and whispered a jab. Only at the 8 seal stage and you took first? This district is a joke. Trio Coat growled under his breath, furious. Let's go smash his head in. But Ngu Lang quickly held him back, telling him to stay calm because we couldn't win. Than Yi's face went cold, her eyes burning with a sharp, murderous intent. I stayed calm and told him we were strangers. There was no reason for him to come here causing trouble. Mac Lang didn't see what was coming, maintaining his sarcastic tone. What did you say? A senior is just saying hello. Suddenly, his face filled with panic. His eyes went wide as he screamed, What did you say? You trying to assassinate me? He had no clue what was happening. Assassinate? What for? Than Yi looked on, confused, as a sudden crash startled everyone in the room. Then a piercing scream echoed through the halls. Protect the young palace master immediately. Suddenly, a dark figure crashed through the window on the left, lunging straight into the room. It wasn't just the left. Armed men were leaping through the windows on the right too. They all swarmed toward one target, Mac Lang. Their eyes were cold, like stone-cold killers. Mac Lang broke into a cold sweat, his eyes bulging in pure terror as he screamed, I didn't do it! I just came to say hello! Before he could finish, a guard's fist sent him flying. The guard then bowed deeply to Li Luo. Our apologies, young palace master. We failed to keep the area secure. Ngu Lang just shrugged, casually patting Zhao Kuo on the shoulder without a hint of surprise. I told you so. Don't be in such a rush. You can't duel Li Luo unless you meet some pretty impossible conditions first. Suddenly, a sharp voice cut through the air. What do you think you're doing? Thu Vu snapped, visibly furious. Li Luo, you're quite the big shot, aren't you? Is your first move always calling the guards to bully people? Li Luo finally signaled them to stop, but Mac Lang was already beaten to a pulp, his face swollen like a balloon. Than Yi leaned in, whispering that this was Thu Vu, Yun Feng's sister. Beside her was Jing Ming from the Imperial Arts Academy. It looked like they were here for revenge. He caught on quickly and narrowed his eyes. Are you with this guy? He just tried to assassinate me. Did you two pull the strings on this? Thu Vu gritted her teeth, her face flushing with rage. You little brat, framing us the moment we meet? Assassination? Are you insane? Don't you dare slander us. Even after the beating, Mac Lang wouldn't shut up. You coward. Do you even have a shred of martial honor left in you? Exactly. When did I ever mention assassination? Li Luo put on a mock bashful look. Oh, really? I could have sworn I heard you say you wanted to. He frustratedly repeated himself, claiming he was just offering a friendly greeting as a senior student. Li Luo flashed a wide, innocent grin, as if the air had been cleared. Is that right? My mistake. I must have misheard. Tell you what, your bill for today is on me. My treat. Thu Vu's jaw tightened as she growled. You think I care about your money? Li Luo just gave her a mocking smirk. So what? What can you do about it? She fell silent, her plan ruined. She'd hoped Mac Lang would provoke Li Luo into a fight so they could crush him, but this kid wasn't acting nearly as arrogant as she had expected, especially not in front of such a beautiful young lady. She realized making a scene now was pointless. Bitter and defeated, the group finally turned and walked away. Even though Thu Vu and her gang had cleared out, the lively atmosphere was long gone. The energy in the room had completely shifted. Everyone lost interest and started heading home one by one. Later that night, at the Breeze Pavilion, Than Yi sat down to talk with Li Luo. The quality at Suncrest House has skyrocketed lately. It's putting so much pressure on the Pine Sun House that they can barely keep their heads above water. Thu Vu has been training at the Sage Academy's specialty hall. Now that she's back, I'm worried she's coming straight for your Suncrest House. Li Luo nodded, catching her drift. You mean because of the Spirit Water and Radiant Light Festival in Tianshu Prefecture next month? In Tianshu Prefecture, they hold a massive celebration every single year dedicated to Spirit Water and Radiant Light. Every production house competes to win over the public and seize the market. The moonlight was brilliant tonight despite the heavy clouds, as Li Luo stood calculating his next move. I've been pouring massive amounts of gold into Suncrest House just to afford level 6 Spirit Water. There's no way I'm letting Thu Vu ruin everything I've worked for now. Back at the manor, angry shouting erupted from inside the house. Damn that Li Luo, Thu Vu shouted while treating Mac Lang's wounds. Just then, Master Song walked in. What happened to my dear nephew, Mac Lang? Look at all these injuries on you. Tell me, what exactly happened out there? Thu Vu explained that while they were at the Breeze Pavilion, Mac Lang simply tried to greet the other students, only to be brutally beaten by Li Luo's personal guards. Master Song's face darkened with irritation. Li Luo again. Mac Lang gritted his teeth in fury. If we were back in the royal capital, I'd make him pay dearly. Master Song held up a hand. Let's not dwell on that for now. Under Li Luo's lead, Suncrest House has suddenly seen an explosion in productivity. It's likely due to some ancient secret technique that Taishuan and Talon left behind for him to use. Mac Lang pondered this for a moment. The formula used at Pine Sun House is definitely superior to anything at Suncrest House, yet they're being crushed in refining power. Only a primeval secret technique could possibly bridge a gap that large. Master Song looked increasingly uneasy. If this keeps up, our Song family's Pine Sun House here in Tianshu will be crushed. We won't be able to stage a comeback. Mac Lang gave a confident smirk. Our Inkwater House's formula is levels above Suncrest House. With our help, your Song family will definitely come out on top. Even after hearing those words, Master Song couldn't shake his lingering anxiety. But our partnership with Inkwater House still has several contract terms that aren't fully settled yet. Mac Lang waved his concerns away dismissively. As long as Inkwater House takes over the Tianshu market, we both win big. That is all that matters. Master Song beamed with delight and began to flatter him. Then I owe you one, my dear nephew. My Song family will ensure Inkwater House rules Tianshu. Mac Lang saw his work was finished and waved. Then I will take my leave now. Thu Vu told the family head that bringing him to the Breeze Tower today actually served a purpose. Without Lilac, Mac Lang never would have talked. We should thank him, I suppose. The Song family head sighed in defeat. From now on, my family's business will be completely choked out by his shop's products. His expression grew more irritated as he began to explain the situation. Even though they promised to provide us with some spirit water formulas, those recipes are not the important part at all. The two original secret methods for the Black Claw water and White Moonlight are what truly matter most. Thu Vu realized the truth and cursed. Damn that Luo Lanhouse and damn Lilac too. How infuriating. Things cannot get any worse than this. If we do not find stronger backing, we will just be handing victory to that Xiang House shop. The Song patriarch asked if she felt confident about the duel with Ling Khan. She smirked with smug satisfaction. Ling Khan? She is an old rival, but this time she is definitely going to lose. The patriarch looked relieved and asked about Van Fong. Thu Vu replied that his injuries were minor, but his pride took a hit. He might still get into Astral Academy. He grew worried and pensive. Van Fong had really gone too far this time around. But Southwind Academy has an extra slot. I just hope Weisha does not stick strictly to the rules. The next morning at the estate, Lilac practiced alone, taking a deep breath to focus his mind. Lilac lunged forward in an instant, planting his foot and leaping gracefully into the air. His opponent stayed alert, raising his blade to block the heavy impact of Lilac's sudden strike. Lilac clicked his tongue when he was blocked. His opponent seized the moment, using the broadsword's weight to knock him back. He steadied himself and called for a stop. His opponent bowed and thanked the young master. The man was visibly impressed and praised him. The young master is truly incredible. You only have an 8 seal level, yet you managed to put serious pressure on me. He waved it off and turned away. Whatever, I still could not beat you, right? Despite his words, his performance changed the atmosphere. The way the crowd looked at Lilac had changed completely. Now, there was a new sense of genuine respect and absolute trust in their eyes. The young master of Luo Landhouse was finally starting to shine. Someone was already waiting for Lilac at the front gate. He called out a greeting. Sister Tai Vai, what are you doing here today? She laughed and teased him. Our young master works so hard. Even after taking first place in the exams, you still train like this every single day. Later, Lilac followed her and asked where they were going. Tai Vai said Ling Khan had arrived, likely on business. He smiled at the news. They headed to the room to meet with her immediately. Are you two here? She held a stack of reports and began to give him a brief update on their current progress. Sales at Xiang House are rising fast. This year's profit might reach 100,000 gold pieces. Lilac was very pleased with the news. Not bad at all. But Ling Khan explained that Thu Vu likely returned to take first place at the festival to boost the Song family's reputation. He asked, Sister Ling Khan is our star expert. Is there any way that she can actually beat her in a duel? Ling Khan replied confidently. Of course, I will not underestimate my opponent during the competition. I will focus all my energy on making up for lost time. Then she hurried off. Tai Vi pulled a jade bottle from her robes. Just as you requested, I managed to secure 3 vials of level 6 spirit water for you to use. It is not much, but it should be enough for now. She set the bottle down, and Lilac excitedly grabbed the spirit water. If I were not afraid you would hit me, I would give you a big hug. She crossed her arms and told him to stop. Tai Vi left, joking that those sweet words did not work on her as well as his handsome face did. Lilac's confidence skyrocketed after hearing that compliment. Man, this damn good-looking face is even too much for Sister Tai Vi to resist. Lilac grumbled to himself while walking. Forget Si Kong and Van Fong, even Thun Ni too. It was so obvious that she was going to take the top spot. Unfortunately, Thun Ni walked by and overheard him. You really have no idea what people are thinking, do you? She teased him for complaining after she helped him get first place. Lilac laughed awkwardly, caught in the act. The two walked along side by side. Other students saw them and called out, "Hello, Brother Lack. Hello, Sister Thon." He noticed a commotion in the distance. People were shouting at someone. "You trash? You still have the nerve to show your face at Southwind Academy?" Lilac recognized Van Fong immediately. Someone saw them and yelled, "Brother Lack, Sister Thon, you are finally here." Van Fong is way too arrogant. He betrayed our academy, yet he still has the guts to come back here. Ngulang just tried to say hello, but Van Fong slapped him so hard he spat blood and collapsed. "It is terrible," Lilac gasped. "Ngulang?" The two finally spotted Ngulang lying in a pool of blood. He was rolling around, making a huge scene. "I am dying. He is a murderer. Someone help me." Van Fong yelled back in a total rage. "You guys are full of garbage. When did I hit him? I told him to back off and gave him a nudge. I didn't use any strength." Then someone yelled louder. "What do you think you're doing?" "That is Wei Sha. Beating students at Southwind? You must have a death wish." He looked over and saw Ngulang sprawled on the ground. Wei Sha roared furiously. "You've gone too far. Do you think I'm dead or something? You're completely out of line. You've ignored Southwind rules long enough. Starting now, Van Fong is stripped of his student rank and is officially expelled." Van Fong snapped back, "I won't accept this. You can't kick me out. I didn't break any rules." Wei Sha just stood there with authority. "If you don't like it, report it. Go to Sage Skystar Academy. Once they order me to cancel your expulsion, then you can join the academy. Until then, you are out." Lilac looked back, worried. Ngulang looked like he was dying on the floor. "The acting is terrible," Lilac whispered. Thon Ni laughed. If Van Fong had stayed in the top 10, even the old principal couldn't have taken his spot away. But he's dropped out, and unfortunately for him, our dear old headmaster is known to hold a grudge. Wei Sha declared sternly, "I can handle a student failing to bring glory to Southwind Academy with their blade. But I won't tolerate a backstabber like this. Someone who actively tries to harm their own classmates is gone." Today was graduation at Southwind Academy. These students would soon leave for the higher institutes across the Great Xia Empire. From now on, our paths diverge. We might never meet again. After graduation, the principal called us to his private garden. Wei Sha was pruning trees. "The final exam," he said. "You four saved our school's reputation this time. Honestly, I really have to say thank you." We just shared a knowing smile. "Headmaster, if you only called us here to say thanks, then you really didn't need to bother. We're good," he asked calmly. "Is that how you kids see me? Am I really that stingy?" Nu Lang put on a show. "Principal, you are a man we deeply respect. I won't let anyone speak about you like that, not even you." He suggested dropping the formality, but then the old man's shears almost nipped his ear. He nearly lost his life. Wei Sha stroked his beard. "In 2 months, you'll head to Sage Sky Star. You did well, but don't let it go to your heads. Once you're at the academy, you'll see just how many hidden talents are out there. It's a whole different level of competition. Unless you're like Than Na, of course. Then I've got nothing to say." He pulled out a jade bottle. "This is bitter lotus pill. When your resonance power hits the 10 seal, use this pill to refine it. It will speed up the resonance seed condensation. It boosts your success rate. Consider this a little extra reward for your performance during the final examinations this year." Apparently, bitter lotus pills require resonance tree sap as a base. Usually, only the top-tier academies have the resources to refine something like this. For any new student at the 10 seal stage, a bitter lotus pill is essentially a miracle elixir for growth. After all, many people fail multiple times when trying to condense their resonance seeds. No, this pill is rare. It drastically cuts down those failure rates. Ngulang was ecstatic. "Principal, who would ever dare call you stingy now? I'll be the first one to fight them." Wei Sha just shooed them away, annoyed. "Go on, leave. It's annoying, but I'll admit it. No school in Great Xia compares to Sage Sky Star Academy." He didn't look back. Wei Sha finally cracked a small, proud smile. "Lilac, you little brat. You didn't shame your parents. Now go out there and fly." After graduating from Southwind, Lilac fell back into his old, intense training rhythm. Within these 2 months, he had one goal: reach the 10 seal. After all, his life expectancy was already counting down fast. Lately, regarding my spirit water training, I have already reached the point where I can refine second-grade quality liquid. One morning at the estate, I was studying a scroll. Suddenly, it erupted into a blinding golden light. I held the scroll and sighed. This isn't easy. To forge an acquired resonance from scratch, I need countless materials and have to test their compatibility. If my parents hadn't left me some money, I'd be completely lost right now. Most importantly, they suggested wood as my second resonance. Wood power has healing and detoxifying effects that are incredibly useful in combat. Combined with my water resonance, my weak foundation might finally stop being an issue for me as I progress further. Wood is mostly for crowd control. Trap them first, then turn them into a human pincushion with my arrows. Sounds a bit twisted, doesn't it? Well, whatever. Being a bit crazy won't ruin my good looks, at least. After hesitating for a moment, I tossed the scroll up. It's decided. I'm going with wood. 86 on the left, 42 on the right, totaling 128. Is this the minor formless wheel? Luckily, my parents left a copy. Wood is my primary attribute, but what should I pick for the secondary element? Li Luo spent all day buried in research, scribbling notes across the paper. He finally decided, a wood-earth resonance. Wood as the core, earth as support. His face now radiated a fresh sense of confidence. Earth is clearly the best support for the wood attribute. Wood and earth powers complement each other perfectly. Whether it is survival or crowd control, both will be much stronger. Once the decision was made, Li Luo went straight to Kai Wei and handed over his list of requirements. 2 hours later, the first batch of materials was delivered straight to Li Luo's room. Right now, he is studying the wood spirit flower, a rare bloom packed with wood attribute energy. Li Luo summoned a flame in his palm, the little formless fire. This flame is the absolute core component for refining the little formless art. Without this specific heat, the entire process would simply be impossible to complete. Only materials refined by this unique flame can be used to forge an acquired resonance later. However, my resonance power is still too weak. This tiny spot. The forging process was anything but pleasant. After burning through several batches of materials, Li Luo finally got a feel for it. He successfully refined a rare herb containing earth energy. It was a small victory, but a vital one for his progress. Li Luo let out a sigh of relief while looking at his work. Refining was harder than expected. He waved his hand, dropping the material into the little formless wheel to test the results. The small flame merged into place effortlessly. It is in. Perfect fit. A beam of light shot toward the next empty slot. Is this the prompt for the next stage? Li Luo felt a surge of excitement at this discovery. Seems like refining isn't that hard after all. Buoyed by his first success, Li Luo immediately moved to the next step. Unfortunately, the results were not exactly what he had been hoping for. Why isn't it reacting? The little formless wheel started showing cracks, sending a wave of pure panic through him. After dealing with the rejection reaction, Li Luo kept testing different materials one by one. It took all night just to fill those slots. Li Luo worked until dawn. It is a grueling process, but the thought of the wood-earth resonance finally being born made it all worth it. Meanwhile, a full month had passed since the end of the academy entrance exams. The people of Tianshu Prefecture were now focused on a new event, the Spirit Water and Light Festival. The streets were bustling with energy. Kai Wei looked around and remarked that the festival had been going for 3 days, but the real show was only just beginning. Li Luo agreed. It is so lively here. How is Sister Ling Qing's preparation coming along? They walked through the district as Kai Wei led him to Ling Qing's location. I am not sure. I did not want to bother her lately, but she is already there. Go ask her yourself. Ling Qing was already standing by the window, looking as if she had been expecting them. You two finally made it? Li Luo smiled. Are you feeling confident about this, Sister Ling Qing? I heard you can bring an assistant before the start. Why don't you let me help you out? Ling Qing replied confidently. Don't you trust me? I do not care about losing to others, but I will never let that woman, Qiu Yu, beat me. Not today. But if you want to be my assistant, fine. You are the young lord anyway. I cannot stop you. Li Luo just stood there, unable to argue back. That stubborn pride of hers is actually kind of cute. You head out first. I will go check inside. Kai Wei teased Ling Qing. Our young lord really knows how to treat a lady, doesn't he? She shrugged her shoulders with a playful grin. Kids talk too much. What could a second-rank resonance master like him possibly do to help me? Meanwhile, Li Luo scanned the various spirit waters and lights in the square, checking where they were produced. He learned quite a bit along the way. Then, suddenly, he spotted a very familiar silhouette. It was her. He did not know when Qing had arrived, but her radiant elegance was already drawing eyes from every man in the crowd. But there was someone buzzing around her like a filthy fly. Li Luo felt bad for her, seeing Mo Ling following her everywhere like a pest. That guy is a total flirt. He clearly likes Qiu Yu, yet he is still out here chasing every girl he sees. Qing looked like she was completely out of patience. He called out to get her attention. Fly swatters for sale, 5,000 gold apiece. Qing turned at the sound of his voice and smiled. Li Luo, she pouted playfully. Those are some expensive swatters. Are you trying to rob me? Li Luo aimed his words right at the pest. Can't help it. The fly near you is so big, it must be a freak. That definitely pissed off Mo Ling. Li Luo, are you looking for trouble? He didn't back down. I am just talking to a classmate. What is it to you? He snapped back. Well, consider this a talk with your senior then. A freak like you will learn a hard lesson once you reach Astral Sage Academy. Li Luo smirked. In that case, I will just bring a few bodyguards along. Mo Ling fumed as he remembered their past encounters, but he had no choice but to walk away. Laugh all you want. By the end of today, my ink waterhouse will dominate the entire prefecture. Your pathetic Sun Creek house can just wait to shut its doors forever. Qing looked worriedly at Li Luo. Ink Waterhall and the Song family are plotting something for today's festival. I told her, relax. I have everything under control. We chatted as we walked along. She looked quite determined. I will probably break through to the first tier of the Master General stage before finally entering the academy. Back at the mansion, Thuvu looked at him and asked with a sigh, "Who set you off this time?" Mo Ling growled about Li Luo. "Damn him. Is everything on your end ready to go?" Thuvu smirked. "With your family's secret wings, there's no way I lose. Honestly, do you even have to ask? I cannot wait to see the look on her face when I crush her." Suddenly, she flinched as Mo Ling reached out to touch her. "What are you doing? If my father catches you slacking on the engagement, you'll never make it out of this county alive." He gave a sleazy grin. "I'd marry you right now, but you're the one stalling." She played along just to buy some time. She needed to wait for the right moment. Later, alone in her room, she stared out the window, deep in thought. Men like him only think with their lower half. "Did you really think I didn't see you hitting on my friend earlier? Right now, I need Inkwater Hall to take down Creek Sun, so I will endure him. Once I find a better prospect, I am cutting this loser loose." Suddenly, fireworks exploded in the sky, and a massive roar echoed through the grand hall. The refining competition was finally here. The entire venue was packed with people everywhere. Ling Khan stepped out. "Does Luo Lan House only hire based on looks?" Thanyi whispered, clearly impressed by the sight before her. Manager Kai Wei was stunningly charming, while this new head of Creek Sun Hall looked cold, elegant, and completely untouchable. Li Luo rubbed his face, feeling awkward. There was no denying the incredible beauty and presence of both those women. If Thanenga hadn't sent me here herself, people would definitely start thinking the young lord was some kind of shameless playboy. Thanyi turned to me. "I am heading to my uncle first. Coming?" I shook my head, pointing toward the high stage. She looked stunned. "Are you actually competing and refining?" I tried to explain. "I am just assisting Sister Ling Khan. It is a good chance to learn, and besides, I am technically a refiner too." She just winked. "Fine. I will cheer for you." I climbed the stage. "Sister Ling Khan, I'm here." She immediately started poking fun at me. "You really do run into your female classmates everywhere. Honestly, I think she might have a bit of a crush on you." "Stop talking nonsense," I shot back. "Do not go insulting our perfectly innocent friendship like that." She just smirked at my reaction. "Not my problem. That girl actually has some skill, but I really wonder if she will survive when the real queen finally steps onto the stage." I groaned in annoyance. "You are taking this too far. What queen? What does that make me, the emperor?" She just rolled her eyes. "Dream on. Here is the formula. Get to work." I scanned the pages and froze. A fourth-grade spirit water formula? The difficulty on this thing is absolutely insane. The book contained an incredibly complex recipe. Ling Khan watched me, looking satisfied with my shocked expression. "Not bad. You are being serious." And then, the final round began. When Thuvu stepped out, their eyes met, and you could feel the sparks of pure hatred. "Why do you despise her so much?" I asked, feeling curious. She sighed with frustration. "Years ago, I actually brought her into my master's refining circle to give her a chance. We lost a competition because of her mistake. Later, we found out she was a spy for another rival refining group the whole time. I was speechless. So she is just another ungrateful backstabber then?" Up in the stands, President Liu sighed. "That kid Li Luo is everywhere." Thon Yi shrugged. "He is just here for experience." Suddenly, he looked concerned. "You and Li Luo have been spending a lot of time together lately, haven't you?" "Remember, he is already engaged." She stayed quiet for a moment. "That engagement is probably just for show anyway, uncle. Do not overthink it. I do not even like him." He sighed helplessly. "Well, who can really say for sure?" She looked annoyed. "He helped me out and he saved my life. That is all there is. We are just good friends. You cannot seriously tell me that I am not allowed to have any friends at all." Liu waved his hands dismissively. "Just do not mention Li Luo when you are with your mother in the capital. Try your best to keep his name out of it." Thanyi froze in her tracks. "Wait, why not? It is some old family grudge. Just don't ask. Just promise me you won't bring him up in front of her." She was skeptical but nodded anyway. Right then, a massive cheer erupted from the crowd. The big festival had officially begun. Out on the field, Ling Khan began. Half a stalk of glacier algae, 3 mountain vines, and stream water. Every measurement had to be perfect. The air felt heavy. Lin Khan summoned a stream of water between her hands, her eyes narrowing with intense focus. Lilac watched closely as she let a single droplet fall. That drop landed perfectly in the glass flask. Lin Khan called for the supplies, and Thien Diep handed them over immediately. As she poured the essence into the bottle, she noticed a sudden change. The flow was incredibly smooth. It caught her attention. This fusion felt effortless, as if some unseen force was driving it forward, saving her immense energy. "I will investigate this after the competition," Lilac thought, exhaling while hiding his movements. The announcer voice boomed. Triu Fong has successfully crafted a level 4 green water light with 5.5 purity. Lu Dong of the White Fang House has completed a level 4 White Raven liquid at 5.5. Another success for Lu Dong. His second batch of White Raven liquid reached a purity of 5.6. But the crowd focus suddenly shifted to one specific group. This was truly hard to believe. Thu Vu assistant held the vial high. A level 5 exquisite wonder water at 5.3 purity. Even Lilac team was stunned. Mac Lang group sneered. This win is ours for sure. Let's see you top that. Tai Vi watched with growing dread. Lin Khan was in serious trouble now. Level 5 water? Everyone here is a level 4 master. This isn't even a fair fight. Lin Khan's hands trembled against the table. How? How could she possibly brew a level 5 liquid? Her face was a mask of defeat. Everything I've done, it means nothing now. A heavy silence fell over them. Lilac looked at her, his heart sinking. He had never seen her look so broken and vulnerable. He reached out and squeezed her hand tightly. She looked up at him, her voice trembling with uncertainty. Then let's just go for it, he said firmly. You are way stronger than Thu Vu ever was. If she can do it, you can too. But Lin Khan just looked down, feeling completely helpless. I've never actually succeeded before, she whispered. Lilac stayed firm. Well, this is already the worst-case scenario, so why not take the risk? Lin Khan, you're far too talented to let her beat you like this. He leaned in closer. Which level 5 formula are you most familiar with? She took a breath and answered, Heavenly Shell Water. But I've never gotten it right. He ignored her doubts and made the call. I'm calling for the materials now. Just then, Thu Vu appeared, smirking. Still trying to compete, Lin Khan? You'll never turn this around. Lilac ignored the insult completely. Don't listen to her. Let's get started. Tai Vi let out a long breath as the tension finally began to break. She was finally back in the game. The table was a mess of brewing tools. Around the hall, other masters were finishing their work. Vials were filled with shimmering liquids and rare ingredients. However, one jar remained wrapped in a magical haze. The manual was open, but her eyes looked lost. Mac Lang couldn't hide his excitement. This is going to send shockwaves through the entire industry. The Sun River House will be totally destroyed. Chairman Liu watched with a worried, heavy gaze. Thon Yu was confused. Why is that? Nearby, the head of the Song family scowled in frustration. She still hasn't given up? Does she really think she can pull off a level 5 miracle now? Through the glass, a figure moved within the swirling mist. Mac Lang shook his head in disagreement. Thu Vu only succeeded because of our family's secret technique. Soon, she'll be the #1 master here. He smirked with confidence. Then, we'll announce our new line of products to the world. Chairman Liu leaned over to explain to Thon Ni. The Song and Mac families have joined forces. They've been stockpiling secret materials just for today. This was a calculated strike to bring down our house. Her face was now clouded with a deep sense of unease. She looked down at the arena, where Lilac stood tense as the hourglass sand slipped away. On the stage, Lin Khan was a blur of motion. Quick, bring me the processed vine essence. Ingredients were scattered across the workspace, but her eyes never lost their focus. Lilac checked the table. Everything for the level 5 liquid was prepared. Then, Thu Vu's sneer flashed in his mind. All this effort is for nothing, Lin Khan. It won't save you from the inevitable. But she remained steady, gripping the glowing material in her palm. It was time to condense the light. A large hand suddenly rested on hers. Li Luo looked gently at her dazed face. Sister Lin Khan, let's go together. Hearing that, she pressed her lips together and nodded. Suddenly, a fierce light appeared, as if tearing space apart. He squinted one eye and let out a smirk. Sister Lin Khan, start your performance now. A single drop from the talisman seemed to stir the silent water. Light intertwined and focused on the object, creating a strangely dazzling scene. The flow of magic power began to move. Lin Khan's eyes went wide with shock. What was happening? She stared into the violent, swirling vortex of magic power. Lin Khan glanced back at him as his expression began to change. Was it because of Li Luo? Everyone watching was absolutely stunned by the magnificent sight unfolding. This burst of light, it simply isn't something that level 4 spirit water could ever achieve. This is definitely level 5 spirit water. Even Thu Vu was so shocked she couldn't find her words. The examiner carefully inspected the newly created item. He shouted out in a voice filled with pure disbelief. His next words left Lin Khan in total shock. Lin Khan of the 7th stream has successfully refined grade 5 Heaven Turtle Spirit Water. 58%. Her sparkling eyes were filled with pure joy. This time, the Grand Ceremony Championship belongs to Lin Khan of the 7th stream. As soon as the announcement ended, she rushed to hug Li Luo. We won. Then she suddenly froze in place. Lin Khan quickly pulled back and glared at him like he was a pervert. Her sudden change in attitude made him yell out. Hey, what does this have to do with me? Mo Ling was so angry he started grinding his teeth. Impossible. There is no way. Something strange must be happening. Master Song stood there with a frozen expression, while President Liu looked deeply puzzled. Well, this is quite a coincidence. Since when was Lin Kan capable of refining spirit water of the 5th grade? Thon Ni's face was filled with pure joy. Who knows? But since the 7th stream won, she began to hum happily, thinking that Li Luo might actually be quite pleased. Her behavior made President Liu glance silently toward Li Luo, who truly seemed to be rejoicing in the moment. Congratulations, you are the #1 refiner in Thien Thu County. But Lin Kan wasn't very excited about those words. Being called the top refiner of Thien Thu County didn't actually mean anything to her. She gave a soft smile, her eyes searching the man in front of her. Besides, how did I win? You know the answer, though I'm not really the curious type anyway. Suddenly, a furious voice rang out. How is this possible? I do not accept this result. Thu Vu stood before the host to protest. Referee, I simply do not believe she could ever refine grade 5 spirit water. Then Lin Kan slowly stepped out from behind the referee. Coincidentally, I don't believe you either, she said with a firm, questioning tone. Why don't we just have an inspection to see if any of us used any special tricks or underhanded methods? Hearing that, Thu Vu's expression turned grim as anxiety flooded her mind. Even though Mo Ling promised nothing would be found, she knew it was best not to cause more trouble. Then she screamed out in anger. You think you have actually won? You are dreaming. She turned around and spoke decisively to everyone. Starting today, the Song family and Ink Water 7th will collaborate to release our newest, high-quality spirit water. Grade 1 Black Star Spirit Water, 62% purity. Grade 2 Black Moon Spirit Water, 61% purity. Grade 3 Black Radiance, 60% purity. That announcement left everyone else in the room feeling completely bewildered. The Song family's new products have already surpassed the 7th stream, so their big secret move today was waiting for this moment. While Lin Kan stood there dazed, Li Luo began to laugh. Thu Vu crossed her arms arrogantly. Do you find this funny? Have you lost your mind? You might have won the individual contest, but unfortunately, my Song family has already defeated the 7th stream. His expression remained perfectly calm. Everyone, my 7th stream also has a major announcement that we would like to make today. Starting today, the Grade 1 and Grade 2 spirit waters from the 7th stream will be upgraded once again. Both new versions of our spirit water will reach 64% purity. This claim made the crowd panic even more. What? 64% for grades 1 and 2? That level of quality might even rank in the top 10 in all of Great Xia. Lin Kan looked at him in disbelief. Hey, you have to be joking, right? Mo Ling took the opportunity to start cursing. This brat is just full of hot air. Even my Inkwater 7th would struggle to reach that level. Thu Vu joined in the mockery. What kind of nonsense are you talking? That kind of quality is something even your 7th stream headquarters could never hope to achieve. A tiny little branch like yours dares to make such claims? Just then, a subordinate placed a box on the table right before him. Young Palace Master, Li Luo casually pulled out a testing device. Then, under the gaze of countless eyes, he thoroughly inspected the spirit water inside that box. After that, everyone watched in absolute shock as the purity level of these spirit waters really did reach 64%. He looked incredibly confident and powerful in that moment. At this stage, the outcome was officially set in stone. The Song family's carefully planned surprise attack had been effortlessly neutralized by their opponent. Plus, the counterattack was razor sharp. A silhouette slowly fades away. Chairman Liu nods in approval. Move out, the show is over now. I lack solid evidence, but after years in business, my gut tells me something is off. This young lord is definitely far from ordinary. He lacks the razor edge of his parents or even Thanga right now. But his potential is immense. In time, I suspect he might even match her brilliance. Thunyi offered a soft smile. Yes, I happen to agree with that. The wooden carriage rolled down the wide road. Inside, Li Luo felt the intense weight of Kai Wei and Ling Qing staring at him. He waved a finger with a smug grin. I know my looks are blinding, but please, try to keep yourselves under control just a little bit. If you really cannot help it, I suggest you take it up with Than Nga first. They both shot him looks of pure disgust. Kai Wei then turned serious. Drop the act and get back to reality right now. She stared at him, her eyes filled with curiosity. How will Suncrest House maintain a 6.4 quality level from now on? Ling Qing glanced over, but he just winked and placed a confident hand over his heart. Isn't that obvious and easy? I just improved the secret formula to boost purity. Naturally, the final quality of the refined product increased as well. Only then did the tension finally fade from Kai Wei's face. Song Ra worked so hard to find professional help, yet he was defeated by your simple explanation of refining the formula. I actually feel a bit sorry for that Chu Yu fellow. Outside, a dreamy atmosphere began to blanket the entire landscape. Inside the carriage, Ling Qing suddenly remembered something and asked, Oh, wait a minute. You are heading to Astral Sage Academy soon, right? What happens to the formula then? Li Luo replied with total composure. I will be sending a fresh batch of the formula to Tianshu Prefecture every single month. That will guarantee Suncrest quality. Kai Wei responded softly. But young lord, if you move to the capital, Ling Qing and I might join you. Ling Qing, who had her eyes closed, finally spoke up too. Once you enter Astral Sage Academy, she tilted her head and smiled. You must call me senior sister. Li Luo happily agreed to her terms. Of course. I am counting on senior sister Ling Qing to look after me then. She clicked her tongue as she rubbed her chin in thought. I will finally see my dear Thananga again. I really do miss her. Kai Wei chuckled along with her. Li Luo began daydreaming, wrapping his arms around himself while swaying slightly. I miss her too. I just want to give her a massive hug. Ling Qing squinted one eye and teased him playfully. If you actually do that at Astral Sage Academy, I am pretty sure you will be beaten to death. He slammed his cup down in protest. Is hugging my own fiancée illegal now? Are people at that academy really that savage? Time passed, and a red sunset bathed the carriage. Following the ceremony, Suncrest revenue soared, effortlessly capturing the majority of the liquid resonance market in Tianshu Prefecture. This directly pushed the annual revenue of Tianshu Prefecture to the highest level in recorded history. A lone figure sat inside the room, focusing their energy. With only 2 weeks of break left, Li Luo finally achieved his long-awaited breakthrough. He successfully stepped into the 10th seal stage, just as he had hoped. This meant it was finally time to leave Tianshu and head for Xia City. The sprawling manor basked in the sunlight. At the east gate of Southwind City, someone carefully loaded the heavy luggage. Young lord, the carriage is ready. When should we set off? Li Luo leaned back slightly, standing in silence for a very long moment. Finally, he turned and waved his hand against the deep blue sky. Move out. A few carriages then began their long journey down the road. Sister Kai Wei, what is the current situation for House Luo Lan? At those words, Kai Wei looked serious. Simply put, it is like being surrounded by hungry wolves. I think if House Luolan did not still hold some power, those other factions would have already moved to destroy us long ago. She glanced at him. If rivals with power equal to Tianshu Prefecture were actually watching us, then this level of simple pressure would not even be the beginning of our problems. A heavy silence fell over the mountain landscape as she continued to speak. So you think their hesitation stems from my parents' lingering prestige? They worry that if they push too hard, my parents might suddenly return one day to settle scores. How would they ever clean up that mess? Kai Wei closed her eyes. The young lord was thinking quite clearly, yet his expression remained totally unreadable. She knew that kind of lingering prestige would only fade away as time passed. In the end, he could only sigh. His steady voice drifted outside the carriage. In the Great Xia right now, what is the general attitude of the top powers toward House Luo Lan? Kai Wei thought of the various clan symbols. In terms of raw power, the royal court of Great Xia is the strongest. Below them are the ancient noble clans and the 5 great houses. Only 2 noble family crests lingered in her mind now. Among the 5 great houses, Du's house loomed the largest. House Extreme Flame harbors the deepest grudge against our Luo Lan house. Once the young lord hits the capital, trouble will follow him everywhere. Li Luo remained silent, lost in his own thoughts. I understand. As the carriage rolled on, leaving dust behind, he finally let out a heavy, somber sigh. My unreliable parents, he muttered. Their distant shadows seemed to flicker on the horizon of his mind as the sun beat down on the dusty road. They really left me in one hell of a mess. High above, the sun burned through layers of thick, drifting white clouds. Buildings slowly emerged from behind the mountain peaks. Finally, a flag waving atop the high city walls came into clear view. Li Luo stared at the crimson banner featuring a fierce king lion. He felt a surge of emotion seeing the landscape bathed in golden morning light. So this is the Astral Sage Academy? The heart of our Luo Lan House headquarters right here in the Great Xia capital. A few riders paused to gaze at the distant fortress. Ling Kan glanced over at Li Luo, who looked surprisingly calm and relaxed. This trip has been smoother than I expected. Suddenly, Kai Wei froze, having spotted something unusual on the path ahead of them. Look over there. It seems like flags are being raised. Sure enough, banners were snapping in the wind across the rolling hills. They recognized the crest immediately, House Golden Sparrow. Li Luo looked surprised. He had fully expected hostile forces to try and block their path. He never thought the first people he would encounter would be from House Golden Sparrow, longtime allies of the Luo Lan family. A man bowed respectfully to him. My lady invites the young lord of Luo Lan House for a meeting up on the mountain. Kai Wei turned to him with a questioning look. It is probably Si Qiwing, the daughter of House Golden Sparrow. But you two have never actually met before, have you? Li Luo hopped onto his horse. Overthinking was useless. He would find out exactly what she wanted once they finally met. Seeing this, Kai Wei grew worried. Do you not need guards? He sat tall in the saddle and simply waved her off. No need. Luo Lan House still carries some weight. No one is stupid enough to attack me right outside the city walls. The mountain scenery grew darker and more somber. A lone rider reached a small tea station where Si Chuiying of House Golden Sparrow sat waiting for him. He approached and asked a question. Qiwang spoke up then, her eyes narrowing as she carefully studied Li Luo. In terms of looks, you have perfectly inherited the best traits of your parents. He just smirked, knowing that was a polite way of saying he lacked everywhere else. However, Qiwing calmly raised her teacup and shook her head, denying his assumption. I never said that. After all, you were the top student in Tiansu Prefecture. Li Luo ignored the flattery, his gaze shifting as he began to probe her. Surely you didn't come all this way just to welcome me, did you? I do not think I deserve such a massive honor. Her face was reflected in the swirling tea. Some people from the Great Sha Academy were planning to cause you some serious trouble today, you see. Specifically, people you cannot easily handle. The ones pulling the strings behind them are House Duz and that man, Duz Beishuan. He rubbed his chin, looking genuinely confused. I do not think I ever did anything to him. Qing just closed her eyes indifferently. House Duz and Luo Lan have hated each other for years. He is too scared to mess with Sister Qing'e, so naturally, he came after you instead. Then, she opened her eyes wide and looked at him. Li Luo, do you actually realize what kind of mess Luo Lan House is in right now? He frowned in annoyance. Just say it plainly. Stop playing these cryptic games with me. You are not that old, yet you keep acting like some world-weary adult. Despite his jab, her gaze remained focused and terrifyingly serious. I have to ask, do you actually intend to save and keep Luo Lan House? He answered honestly. Of course. But with so many wolves circling, it will be incredibly difficult. Qing continued, her expression remaining perfectly calm. I have a way that might actually help you protect and keep Luo Lan House. If our two houses join through marriage and unite our strength, we can definitely put an end to all this unwanted attention. That left him stunned for a moment. Then he let out a helpless sigh. I am sorry, but I am already engaged. I cannot marry you. Qing started trembling, her face turning bright red as she pointed and screamed. I was not talking about you and me. I meant my older brother and sister Qing'e. Li Luo remained calm. Well, that is even more impossible. Her frustrated scream echoed through the entire mountain range. Li Luo, if you want to keep your house, you have to pay a price. If Qing'e and my brother get married, then our families will become one. At that point, we would use all our power to defend Luo Lan House from any threat. Qing clenched her fist with determination and asked, Are you saying you no longer want to save Luo Lan House? Li Luo refused to back down, a small smile on his lips. Of course I want the house, but I want you, too, she spoke slowly. You are far too greedy. The friendship of House Golden Sparrow is not meant for someone as greedy as you. He closed his eyes helplessly. Miss C, you are being childish. Between powerful factions, there is only mutual interest. His eyes snapped open with sharp determination. This is not about the friendship of your house at all. As for the actual reason, if you do not understand, go home and ask your parents. Luo Lan House looks unstable, but we can still share the pressure on House Golden Sparrow. Her hand slammed onto the table, eyes burning with rage. Li Luo, you've gone way too far this time. But he didn't flinch, his face a mask of calm. I never planned for House Luo Lan to depend on others. I know outsiders cannot be trusted, so whoever decides to target House Luo Lan will answer to me first. Thudiran wouldn't back down. Fuming with rage, she snapped that he should really be asking Sister Qing'e instead. He just tilted his chin with pride. Exactly, and you should also ask my fiancée if she agrees. Thudiran scoffed. Don't get cocky. Without Sister Qing'e, this house would have been stolen long ago. He rolled his eyes with a smug grin. That's why I say, having such a reliable fiancé makes life so much easier, right? Thudiran finally reached her breaking point and exploded in anger. How could someone be so shameless? Suddenly, Li Luo spotted a group approaching from the hilltop. It was Qing'e, riding boldly with a deep blue banner behind her, radiating a powerful and dominant aura. Li Luo smirked. Speak of the devil, my fiancé is here for me. His words only fueled the surrounding rage. Thudiran finally gave in. Fine, if you won't accept my suggestion, forget I said anything at all. The rider approached with a mocking tone. Little worm, are you that interested in my young house leader? Qing'e looked down from her horse, making a move to personally escort him back. Thudin shielded her face, avoiding eye contact nervously. I just came to see the county's top exam scorer. Hearing that, Qing tilted her head to confirm. Was Li Luo really the one she meant? While he grinned, Thudiran winked desperately for silence, but he ratted her out, freezing her in place. This young lady wanted me to break our engagement so you could marry her older brother instead.